Test, test, test. I think we're all good. Okay. Oh, I forgot. I'm sitting on my knee right now, so I'm a little bit higher than normal. Give me 1 second, everybody. I'm not used to sitting down again. Twist this up a little bit, twist it down a little bit, and I think we're good enough for now. Okay, everybody. Hope you guys are all doing well. Let me get this thing started here. Loki's going crazy because I'm sitting down again. I just put the seat down a few minutes ago, and you guys can see his Loki much more active here. I still have the Loki cam on, but Loki, what are you doing? You're gonna break a glass. But now he has access to the desk again. And hey, Bideford, happy to see you back here. You guys can't see Loki, but here. He's right there, just chilling. Now he's on this side, just waiting. You can see his little ear somewhere. Oh, yeah, over my shoulder right here. There we go. And hey, Faizan, hope you're doing well. No notification as usual. Well, I'm happy you were still able to catch the stream. What do you think about Mars Coin? Oh, hold on, guys. Sorry. Okay, Loki, what are you doing? Okay, I'm gonna give him a treat. Let me try this. I remember I still have the Loki cam on here. Let me see if this works. Okay, so there's the blanket. I put a new blanket down there since the other ones are being washed, or I guess they were washed. Let's see what happens if I just toss it. There you go. Okay, you guys really couldn't see him do that, but that's okay. I can move the camera around. There he is. Okay. It's just to see him sleep, but now he's really excited because I actually gave him a treat. Okay. Let's actually start off. Go back to my head very fast. Okay, everybody. Hey, Crystal. Hope you're doing well. And hey, Can. Oh, sorry. It's probably the last one right there. Just the face one. Let me check it out very fast. Hello. No, this one should have sound. This one should have sound. Hey, GT. Okay, that should be fine. Let me make sure all these do have sound, actually, though. Websites, this one might not have sound. Yeti, sounds coming through, sounds coming through. Yeah, okay. Should be good. Let me know if there's no sound on some of these, though, because I am testing out some new little things on my streaming platforms. Streaming system, I guess you would say. Okay, so lots of good news. We'll go through some news today. Let me move this back because I was showing Loki. We'll go through charts. We did break out today as far as the SPY and the NASDAQ. Huge news there. Now we have to kind of test out these next levels of resistance. And we really have to kind of watch to see how Friday goes. But at least for now, we've officially broken out, and that's great news here. That means this downward trend is starting to show some weakness. Again, we'll see how strong this breakout is. But for now, it's a sign to actually celebrate here. So let's start over here, I guess, with just the website part. And hey, Crystal, happy to see you back. Let's kind of start off with the news. Basically, the few things that I want you guys to know about today are Intel, GDP, which is good, and TikTok here. This is just bad news. This is really good news, and this is just interesting news. So let me just kind of start off here with Intel. You guys don't have to read the article. I wrote something down so I can actually just read it to you and make your lives a little bit easier. But as far as Intel's concerned, they reported a disappointing quarter with a decrease in revenue due to an inventory glut and underused factories, which is pretty interesting. Underused factories nowadays. The company's revenue fell by 8% and earnings per share were down 12%, missing analyst expectations. Intel attributed the poor performance to weak demand for personal computers, which make up the majority of the company's business. Additionally, the company also faced challenges with its new manufacturing process, which caused delays and increased costs. The company's CEO, Pat Ginslinger, stated that they are taking steps to address these issues, but it may take some time to see results. So Intel definitely getting hit hard after hours. We can check out the chart later on, but it's like down like 9-10% after hours, which is just horrible for the tech sector. Because it is like one of the largest chip manufacturers. And I think the main point here is you saw the same thing with Microsoft. People just aren't buying computers right now. That seems to be the thing. They're just not buying computers, unfortunately. Okay. Now, as far as GDP is concerned, this was actually very, very great news. We'll watch part of this video here in the next few seconds, but let me just give you a summary of what actually happened. So the U.S. GDP rose 2.9% in the fourth quarter of 2022, more than what was expected by economists, despite concerns of a potential recession. The growth in GDP was driven by increased consumer spending and a rebound in business investments. However, the GDP growth rate for the entire year of 2022 was just 2.3%, which is lower than the previous years. We're slowing down, obviously. We're still slowing down. Good news is, though, it's better than expectations. That's why we had such a big pump today. And it also says the report also mentions that the growth in GDP was not enough to offset the economic damage caused by COVID-19 pandemic, and the unemployment rate remained elevated, right? So I would still say very, very good news here. And it goes on to kind of talk more about inflation and things like that. guys, we're in a decent spot right now. Again, it's not great, it's not even good, but it's better than expectations, right? That's what we've been kind of going. That's what we've been kind of saying over the past few days, and that's good news because so far that's given the market an opportunity to break out here. And the last thing, which is more just interesting, and we'll go back here to look at the GDP stuff, but I just want to make sure a certain amount of time plays as far as my stream before I start playing this, so YouTube doesn't think I'm just streaming CNBC 24/7 or something. Um, but over here, TikTok is trying to sell its new project, Project Texas, as it fights for survival in the United States. You guys know governments are starting to ban it as far as off of government devices because now they understand how much information TikTok gathers off of your phone. It's quite a bit, right? I would suspect it depending on the phone itself because some phones have more privacy or support, more privacy settings than others. But here we can just kind of read a little bit about it, and I'll just let you guys see this logo for now. But it says TikTok is trying to sell its new feature, Project Texas, as it faces challenges in the United States market. Project Texas is a new feature that allows users to create and share short videos with friends and family, similar to the way that people use WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. TikTok is hoping that this new feature will appeal to a wider audience, including older users and families, and help the company gain more users in the United States. However, the company is also fighting to survive in the U.S. market as it faces increased scrutiny and potential bans from the U.S. government over concerns of data privacy and national security, blah, 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 okay? But it seems that they're going to be rolling something new out. I don't actually think this is going to be very useful for the old people that I know that use TikTok, even the older people like my mother. They know what they like to watch on TikTok, and they just watch the same type of content over and over and over again, and they're perfectly happy with it. I try to swipe around a little bit more because I understand how these algorithms work, how if you it'll test you out, and you can obviously see that one video it tests you out, like, hey, you normally watch all cooking videos, but we're going to show you a kung fu video for no reason. If you like that kung fu video, you're going to see more. Those test videos, I click on those sometimes just to kind of get spruce up my algorithm a little bit, right? But they're going to try something new, and they're also sending a bunch of lobbyists to DC to try to get them to not shut them out. Hopefully, they're going to be able to figure something out, but as long as that data is going to China, I mean, I can understand why a large portion of America doesn't even want to touch the TikTok app. I do it because I'm an influencer, I talk about stuff, and I just like to use the app, and I'm okay with the security, what it's tracking of me, because I don't really do much off my phone, besides maybe the location stuff, right? But they're going to have to find a way to sell off part of their company when it comes to the data side, or they're probably going to get banned in the next few years, which would be horrible for all the influencers that make a living off of the app. But, if they're not going to moderate all the data that they're taking off people's phones, I think it's only right that the government steps in and says, hey, do this or you're gone. And usually what happens is that the companies, as they always do, they just back down and everything goes back to normal. I think that's just where we're headed as far as TikTok is concerned, and I think people should be happy about that. You might see them making less money, which probably means that the influencers might make less money as well. I think that's going to be the concern. But if you guys might see ads saying, don't let the government do this to us influencers, I don't think it's going to work very well, but we'll see how it works out, right? All right. Now, as far as GDP is concerned, we can watch the short video here. Again, it's a very short one, like 3 minutes long. We won't even watch the whole thing, but you guys should listen to how it sounded this morning. It was a surprise, and I was pretty excited for it. All right, let me make sure the volume's up. I think it is. Let's go. Oh, we might see an ad. Oh, we'll see an ad.
All right, well, let's start out with what's going on with initial jobless claims for the week ending January 23rd, 186,000. 186,000. That is a new cycle low. That's going to take us back to April of last year, 22. And if we look at continuing claims, 1.675 million, 1.675 million. GDP, 2.9%, 2.9%. Obviously, that's a good quarter, maybe the last positive quarter that we get with respect to growth in the economy. And as we start to look at some of the other numbers populating here, I see that durable goods is coming in. Durable goods coming in at up 5.6%, up 5.6%. That is a very strong number. Now I'm getting the rest of the data with regard to GDP on pricing. The price index is 2.1%, 2.1%, and that is a very good number. If you're looking for inflation to come down, that comes down from the 2.3 level. And the last time we were at a 2.1 level, you have to go back to the second quarter of 2020 when it was minus 1.3. And if we look at what the quarter-over-quarter personal consumption expenditure core is, it is under 4%. Many predicted that. It's 3.9%. 3.9%. The last time we had a number in that camp was the first quarter of 21 when it was 3.2. And if we look at the final numbers on the trade balance, minus 90.3 billion. That's bigger than anticipated. Wholesale inventories up 1/10, much smaller. That's a decent preliminary. Retail inventories up 0.5, double expectations. And we're getting some revisions. Last month's 190,000 on initial jobless claims. Subtle change to 192. And if we look at the transportation, remember durables up 5.
Okay, that's about it there. So basically, the this GDP information was very, very good. I'm hoping we don't have a scenario like we did with some of the sales numbers and industrial numbers where it was vastly overestimated how good everything was and they had to reiterate it later on or come back and say, hey, we made a mistake. It was actually much worse. I'm hoping it doesn't happen. I'm just going to assume it's going to not happen as of now. It'll be a shocker when it does in the future, right? Normally is, right? But you guys heard that he did say this may be the last positive GDP number we have for a while now. That's still the concern. That's still, while we have good information, this is a great day, while I'm still kind of bearish for the rest of the year. But this news did give us a big pump. So now let's go over here to the charts and kind of check some stuff out. Because, I mean, it was good news. Let me move some stuff down here for myself. And there we go. You guys have the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ officially broke out. This is very, very beautiful. I don't know why the line keeps moving, though. Maybe, okay, is it, maybe I just need to stick to the daily chart? No, this line right here, this red line keeps moving, and I just do not know why. It's very infuriating. All right, let's go back over here. Let's do a nice little magnet. Oh, is that why did I make it like that? Okay, we can go here to here then. Magnet, and let's just extend the right line here. Because I think this is the one we've been using. Yeah, because this one we had the false breakout here. Oh yeah, last time we did have a false breakout back over here in August, so just be aware of that, okay? Just because we break out doesn't mean it's all full go, but it is a very, very good sign here, okay? And also, we're not moving necessarily as parabolic as we did back over here, thank God. That'd be a little bit more scary, okay? So, let me move this back over here now. Yeah, here's the one we broke out of today. Nice move. I would probably put more credence to the fact that we finally broke out above this 200 daily moving average. That's what we've been looking to see, guys, for the past few weeks. We've been having a lot of trouble, as you guys know, just tons of levels of resistance, a lot of bad news as far as the economy is concerned. However, we're doing fine. This is good. Bitcoin's not really responding the way I think you might expect it to today, but I think that's just because Bitcoin had a big boom over the last couple of days while the market was kind of going choppy and sideways. But we'll see if Bitcoin during today's daily candle can actually make that big move here, and we'll talk more about that, okay? Now, if we can continue to pump here off of this good news going into tomorrow, which is Friday, then Monday and Tuesday, we might actually have a golden cross occur between the 50 and the 200 daily moving averages and the 20 and the 200 daily moving averages, okay? First things first, you guys should see the 20 crossover below the 50 sometime next week. That's what you want to see. That'll be great. But going forward here on the weekly chart, it really comes down to just a few points of resistance now that we have broken out, okay? Those levels really happen to be right now, right around here, right? Currently breaking out above it. We want to close the week above it, okay? Otherwise, we have to go over here to the daily, and you can see the daily close or the daily high is way up here around 12,166. You know, we want to close above both those, but as far as the weekly is concerned, we really just want to close above this level right down here, okay? We can do the body, we can do the top, it doesn't matter here. But we want to close, because then what we have, obviously, is going to be a nice little double bottom. I think the last time I traded a double bottom, oh no, it was actually a couple days ago with Matic. Maybe yesterday with Matic. I'll pull up Matic's chart here in a second. Let me just get my little marker out for this. We were a bottom here, a bottom here. We have that neckline working our way up right now around 12,166. We find a way to blast off from there, find some type of resistance, and eventually come back down. But the big pop that would happen as far as the NASDAQ is concerned would be the pop that happens as we break out above this 50-week moving average. We do know the trend still suggests we're going to be coming back down lower. I understand that. You guys know that. However, this is still an opportunity to get some longs in here as long as we can break out over here. I would say by tomorrow, most likely, right? And then we have a pop, and we might have a little bit of a resistance level up here towards 12,758. During that time, of course, you're not going to be trading the NASDAQ. You'd be trading other types of assets. You'd also be hoping that things like Apple and whatnot that have broken out today, they're also making some stronger moves. Just so you guys know, simple at this point is really just going to be Fibonacci extension. We're already having some nice long moves. That 50-week moving average right now is a decent level of resistance if you guys are going to be buying some calls on any other assets. Before we go over to the SPY now, I'll just show you guys Apple that we've been talking about over the past few days. This is not the same charts we had on the other day. I probably made this on another chart here, but that's okay. We can still get this going. We were talking about this the other day, right? There we go. We also broke out from here. Depending on which levels you were using, this thing always hasn't been the most accurate. But as far as Apple's been concerned, it took a few days, but we finally broken out. Now Apple has a little bit of a running room up to 149, back up kind of towards that 200 daily moving average range. So we could have a pump for the next few days. After that, though, I would say maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, we might see a little bit of a pullback here. The good thing as far as Bitcoin's concerned, we'll come back to this in a second, is the fact that the markets should hopefully end up on a strong note tomorrow as long as we continue to have some good news. Earnings today were not good, so I'm hoping that doesn't really mess up the GDP numbers that we saw. We'll have to kind of watch to see how that appears in the morning because earnings, Intel killed, Hasbro killed. It just not good earnings, okay? Like, not bad, but really, really bad earnings for certain companies out there. Let's focus on the SPY now. I don't want to get too dragged onto those earnings numbers. It was just dismal to kind of watch them come out. SPY has also broken out now, and it's a little bit different than the NASDAQ. This one actually has broken out a couple times here. So we have this longer-term downtrend that we've been talking about. A lot easier to spot than the NASDAQ's downtrend because the NASDAQ has a couple of downtrends based on how high it was. So you can see right here, we have a clear and obvious peak, and then we come down. The NASDAQ has like this weird peak where we have another peak way over here, but we've been going off of this peak coming downward, okay? So people can also be looking at this one just in case you want to, of that being another opportunity. Excuse me, as far as the level of resistance, we don't use that one, obviously, because that would require the economy to do some really crazy stuff for us to, for the NASDAQ to even try to get back up to $14,000. That'd be absolutely insane. But going back to the SPY here, we've also had a breakout. We do have a level of resistance kind of awaiting us at the same time. But unlike the NASDAQ, we're kind of already broken out above the 50-week moving average here. That's a really good sign here. I would say that's mostly happening because, of course, the NASDAQ has fallen down so much more, so the 50-week moving average has had a lot more of an aggressive pull, bringing it back down, if that makes sense, from a weighted average perspective, right? Equal weighted average, I should say. It might be a little bit different on the EMA, but I suspect it's already passed the EMA 50 a while ago. All right. But on the daily moving average is well above the 200. The 200 really hasn't been a major level of resistance for us, as you guys can see. But again, going back to that thesis of, hey, we're going to be having a golden cross here pretty soon. That could give us a big boost back up to at least $410. And then eventually going back up towards here, $430. So we might even have a run-up going to Federal Reserve rate hike meetings, which we normally do. We're accustomed to having those rallies. So that's kind of just like, hey, let's see what happens. Of course, earnings were kind of choppy today, not good at all. But the big earnings that I think we're mostly going to be paying attention to really do happen around the same time as the Federal Reserve rate hike. So that's like the Apples and whatnot. I think we talked about this last week or earlier this week. Apple's earnings, I think, on February 2nd, February 3rd. Let me go over here very fast. I mean, look at the S&P chart right here. Everything was good. My oil stocks, hallelujah. Hallelujah. And now I'm mad at myself again. I tell you guys a lot I sell too early, and I'm still happy with the profits I made. Don't get me wrong, because I did buy at a good time. But ZOM made all-time highs here, I think, today. Yeah, just popped off of the Chevron news as far as their massive dividend plays. So I'm watching everything very, very closely as far as oil is concerned. But I wanted to talk to you guys about Apple here very fast. Apple earnings are February 2nd after market close. February 2nd after market close, so be aware of that. Apple's also trying to have a breakout here. It's a little bit different because the wick is from here to there, and then it kind of goes on a little bit further. I'm not sure if it broke out or not. But yeah, so we're looking at a few different, from a technical perspective, we're looking at some bullish action. Fundamental, long-term, of course, it doesn't look good, but still, it'd be foolish not to do some trading off of this action right now. You guys don't have to, of course, but this has been some pretty nice moves, everybody. Now, going back to Bitcoin here, Bitcoin's kind of matched back up with this level of resistance we've been talking about over the past few weeks. We're just going to be using the high over here from September to this little bit of another high that we saw back over here in August, and we're just putting a zone to it. And this is usually what you might call a scale out zone. At this point in time, this is still a good scale out zone. I've talked about us possibly going up to $25,000. That's kind of at the high point of this scale out zone. For now, personally, because the market's still going to be choppy, and what is it? It's the 26th. We have about a week until Federal Reserve rate hikes and all these big earnings coming out as far as the large mega cap companies. I'm okay with not really buying anything right now as far as swing trades. Options, sure. I can try to do those for maybe 2 to 3 days max, but I'm not doing them for longer, like weeks, like I normally would. And as far as Bitcoin's concerned, similarly, I'm okay doing 1 or 2 day trades, but I'm not going to be holding anything for too long. Day trades have been working perfectly fine, and day trades can last up to like 24 hours, right, within the trading day. Now, I'm just watching this very, very closely as far as the daily chart's concerned. The weekly chart, you just see it condenses a little bit more. I don't want this to be the last green week we have. I want to see us close out the week on Sunday strong up here, and then possibly next week is when we face all that levels of resistance as we have all this news coming out about the economy, Apple earnings, how much the interest rate hike is going to be, probably 50 basis points, right? And then from there, we'll see if we do start to fall back down slowly, or if we can find a way to just go more sideways here until we have to deal with both the 200 weekly moving average, which as you guys can see really wasn't too much of a level of resistance, or the 50-week moving average here, which historically, again, really wasn't too much support or resistance here. We've broke down below it, popped back up, going back over in history, a little bit of support there, but still breaking down below it, honestly. Wasn't much here. So they're not known for being these strong levels of support and resistance. I would say the 20 is usually that big sign for me. You can see we break down, resistance, some resistance there, breakout. You see, breakout, boom, break down, boom, breakout, boom, support, boom. No support there because we just flat out crashing. But again, resistance, no resistance there, massive fake out, which was absolutely insane as, exchanges started to crash afterwards. Resistance over here, and then, boom, broke out here. But even here, I think we actually made a mistake and we closed above it. Oh, no, okay, so we closed above it, but FTX happened. How are we going to know FTX was that bad how bad of a company FTX was? It was absolutely insane. Okay, but yes, so that's kind of what I'm looking at right now as far as Bitcoin's concerned. And hey, Hannah King, thoughts on PCE report due tomorrow? I'll let you know in just 1 second. Thank you very, very much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. So guys, as of right now, this is to me is still the scale out level. Depending on what you guys are watching at this point in time, I'll show you guys some other crypto coins in a few minutes. We're kind of just sitting at one of these resistance points, just sitting here. We can always break out. You guys can see that we've made some strong moves over the past few weeks. So we've kind of, from a weekly chart perspective, we've just blown through some of these. Go back over here to maybe the 4-hour chart, daily chart. You can clearly see that there have been some resistance levels that have been altered more than others, like over here. This one, once you broke out, not really. Over here, it was a little bit of support, a little bit of resistance there, no resistance there, maybe on the 15 or something. But resistance, dealing with this level right now, almost got rejected there. We could make our way back up to 24,000, maybe 25,500. For now, 24,000 to 25,000 is a perfect range for me, just because, as I just said, when we start dealing with this resistance level over here, you can imagine a line going across, that really, to me, kind of merges with this 50-week moving average, and that's my big concern. Can we break above that? Because I know we're excited to see Bitcoin have this crazy rally, but normally after we have these crazy rallies, we do tend to come down very hard. And this even happens back in bull markets, right? We have these really crazy rallies, and we do come back down hard. Now, this is about a 25% move down, if I remember correctly. Let me see if I do remember correctly, actually. 25.5% rally pick up here. So I'm expecting something like that to happen over the next few weeks. I'm just waiting to see how high we get. Let's say we get up here to the 200 or maybe even the 50. 25% drop from there brings us right back down here to around the 18,000 or so. If we don't have to fall back down that much, I would just say maybe it brings us back down to $20,000, maybe. But just be prepared to understand that we're still in a pretty bad spot. But this is a very good. We're doing fine over the past few weeks. I'm not going to sound too pessimistic, but normally when we have these big bumps, unless this is truly the bottom of the market, which I don't think it is because the economy continues to get worse, right? I do think we're eventually going to give up a lot of these gains. Now, you wanted to hear about PCE report due tomorrow. Based on everything we're seeing, I would expect it to be better at estimates or better. Let me see what time is the P. Let's see. I like how it even says tomorrow. Forex Live. Let's look at here. It's quite a snooze fest here in European trading, with a major currency showing very little appetite, where equities are tentatively more optimistic. That's true if you saw today's data. But there is one data release to watch tomorrow towards the end of the week. It may not be in today's set. Instead, I'd pen the U.S. PCE inflation numbers tomorrow as perhaps being the most important. It says it is estimated the core PCE is seen falling to 4% from 4.7%. I would actually say that's a pretty reasonable base of how much inflation's been coming down. And what we saw coming from the Q4 numbers is businesses have been able to save a little bit more money as inflation's been coming down. People were able to spend a lot of money during the holidays, even though that really did deplete a lot of their savings accounts. They really did rack up a lot of credit, which is, of course, not a good thing here. But as long as people have the ability to keep on adding on to their credit, the economy keeps on churning. It's really when people can't spend any more money, or they just don't have any more money to spend, if that makes sense. I would say if the consensus is around 4%, I could see it around 4 to 4.1. I don't think it's going to be anything like really lower than that. I'd be surprised if it is, but I've been surprised before, right? I would say I'd be surprised if it was worse than expectations, but I could see around a 4 to 4.1%. I know 4, so it might even be a little bit worse than expectations, I might say, but I would still say 4, around expectations to 4.1. Trying to think if there's any other news, though. I don't think I would have much worry about it tomorrow, though. So far, it seems like they've been working out fine. Let me do one thing here as far as Bitcoin's concerned, because I know I'm going to forget here in a few seconds. There we go. Bitcoin still holding strong. This is the one thing we want to see as well. We want to see it continue to hold. Let's go 15. And we are still above it right now. And of course, if you guys know what I've been talking about over the past few days, excuse me. Again, we just don't want to see Bitcoin fall down below that 50 moving average, specifically on the 4-hour chart. That's my bellwether where I might start getting concerned about Bitcoin here, okay? We haven't done it so far out for this rally. It's been very, very good. Normally, when we see this, we start to struggle a little bit more. We start to see more drastic drops. And if we do break down below the 50, I think we might come all the way back down below this breakout point and come back down here to 21,000 levels. Let's hope that doesn't occur. Last time we came close, we had a really big boost. So hopefully this time, if we actually do have some good CPE numbers coming out tomorrow, that boost could take us closer to $23,500 to $24,000. And then, of course, we have a little bit of a pullback, but still way above this 50 moving average here. This is normally what I've been looking at. You'll see that since Bitcoin's been more stagnant, you've actually seen altcoins have to actually test out that 50 a lot sooner than Bitcoin has. We can go over here to Ethereum. Ethereum already fell down, and you can see the drastic drop of this breaking down below the 50 compared to just dropping down below the 20. That's concerning to me. Ethereum Classic, again, it already happened a while ago. As Bitcoin's been going more sideways, it doesn't have the same support levels because people rush in here. People day trade, they swing trade this much more than Bitcoin. Let's be honest. Bitcoin's kind of there as the bellwether. Not many people really trade Bitcoin unless they're doing specifically futures trading or leverage trading of that sort. One of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about today, I think, was Matic. You can see some technicals I had here, I think, from the other day when I was doing some trading. But Matic also had a breakout today, which is very interesting. Unfortunately, I did miss this breakout because I was sleeping. This actually happened very early this morning, and I was just not going to wake up for it, honestly. But you did have some good trades you guys could have made over the past few days. You guys had a breakdown that I played. This one, I think this, if I was correct, we actually just hit a Fibonacci level that kind of matched up with this support level over here and these support levels. Like you can imagine a buying zone. Let me put a rectangle on here just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. See this rectangle right here as far as a buying zone, right? And then I think if you also put on a Fibonacci retracement, not an extension, a retracement that went up to these highs, you actually should have had something, yeah, right over here that matched up. So I just found a support level that I bought. I bought some over here, and I doubled down after we had a double bottom here. I think, you can see it right here. Yeah, I opened up a position right here as well, and then I had a stop loss. No, not top loss. I had 2 scale out levels, primarily at this resistance level, because you guys know if we break down, if we come back up, usually it's a level of resistance. You can see the big pop actually happen below that level of resistance there. But I think if I just go over here to maybe a 1 hour chart, and I stretch this out for you guys to see, I can get rid of that. We really don't need that right now. There you go. You see that there was a resistance level right there as well, which caused a little bit of pain. I was able to close out here, and I closed out here as it was falling off of a cliff back to the 1, and I was done all within that time frame. Luckily, I was 20, 50, and the rest all right there. I guess I sold too early, as I normally do, but as far as a nice short, 1 to 2 day trade, I actually liked this a lot. Now, it did break out earlier, but this was so early in the morning, I was sleeping. What can I say? I probably would have taken the trade, but I was frankly sleeping. You go to the 15-minute chart, you'll see the breakout that occurred right here. To me, personally, this simple breakout right there isn't really enough to make me want to go all in and just try to buy it up. You would have had been looking at how strong of a candle that is, maybe, but looking at that resistance, I might have bought only here as we broke out above this trend line, this resistance levels, and this trend line as well. And you can see the volatility. I might have bought here, got stopped out here, and then it continued to rally on. So that was a crazy bumpy ride there. But so far, you're seeing a lot of these different type of coins right now. You won't see as much technicals here as I did in Matic, because I actually did a trade on it. But you're seeing a lot, if we go back to the 4 hour, testing back out these 50 moving averages here and starting to show some weakness, right? Right there, engine coin, but that's only because they've had some really solid gains. They're just giving up some of those gains right now. Be aware of it. Ape coin is still actually doing okay. It's up 2% right now while most things are down. Shiba's coming down. Mana's coming down slowly. Not the end of the world here, guys. This is just a consolidation phase as far as I'm concerned. Just make sure that Bitcoin itself doesn't break down below that 50 moving average on the 4 hour chart. That would give stuff like Mana, or Decentraland, as you want to call it, that would give it permission, so to speak, to actually fall down to that next level of support down here on 55 cents, which, I guess there's a support level right here. First one, support level drop of 6%, then after that, a drop of 15%. So that might be like a 1 to 2 day drop of 15%. After, over the past few days, again, it's rallied up 173%. That's totally realistic to come back down 15, 16% within a matter of a couple of days, okay? So just be aware of those moves. You're seeing some smaller breakouts, but again, you're not seeing total reversals. Again, remember what we just saw with Matic? You break down, you come back up and retest. Sometimes you break back out. Sometimes it just ends up to being a rejection. That's what you guys have to be looking at right now. Using your typical Fibonacci extensions, having your stop losses, having your scale out levels, and just understanding, like, again, came back here. Which one are you going to use? Probably the one that balances out with another level of support, right? You had some over here, but which one's closer? Right there. And even then, I don't even know if you want to buy right here just because of how nasty that move was. So hindsight's always 20/20, makes it a little bit easier. But still, not just because you can see it like this doesn't mean you should have bought it at the time. I probably wouldn't have bought it. I probably would have bought it, honestly, if it came back down here. I'd like to see it come back down there. Then I might take a little bit of a bite. But you guys know I'm much more of a cautious investor. Some people might take it. I'm just a little bit more antsy at this point in time. Now, as far as some of these breakdowns, you have to start adjusting and finding new trends. Whether we got that one right there, or I guess you could always go off of this one, right? Just trying to hold it. But you can see this one's shown some weakness here, so I'm not really all too excited about it. But just keep an eye on some of these Fibonacci levels. If Bitcoin does decide to break down below that 20 or that 50 moving average for whatever reason, that's why I start coming back up here and I'm like, hey, okay, this is the 4 hour chart. Let's zoom out way over here. How much further do we go? Is this even working for us? Is it working? Not really, no. So let me change it over here to the logs on. There we go. We haven't come down to it yet. It matches up with here, which gives me another support level. So again, I might be more inclined to buy if it comes down to 61 or so. And if we go back over here to Bitcoin just for a second, you'll see Bitcoin has some more room. It can come down before it actually runs into that 50. So we might tap on the 50, then bounce, and you might actually be able to buy some of those assets while they're tapping on their own supports. Have a stop loss though, because if Bitcoin gives out, a lot of other stuff will give out. Not to the point where we're thinking about major crashes, but to the point if you're on any leverage trade, you're not going to have a fun time with that leverage position because it might go down depending on, again, how much leverage you have. A quick 20-30% within a matter of about an hour or two. Nobody ever wants to be down 5%, let alone 30%, right? And some of the positions that we do, you might be down 100% until you make 1,000%. That happens a lot with options if you guys ever trade those. But so far today, everybody, the only things that are really up I see is EOS, Leo, which is up a little bit, ApeCoin, STMX, and that's it. Okay, so not much is up at this point in time. Things that are down a little bit more, maybe Luna, Sand, some stuff that's actually had just really big days. Like Solana has had a really big week, right? Just massive pump from $8 to 23. That's over 100%. It's okay if it falls down a little bit. Just be careful as far as Solana. This is the daily chart. We're coming next to the 20-day moving average. Watch those support levels, boys and girls, because if that breaks down, I get a little bit more concerned. Because then if we break down from here, we're most likely breaking down below the 20. If we're breaking down below the 20, we're at least coming back down to $20. If that breaks, we really don't have any support until maybe $18. So these things that have had really big pumps, again, I say it all the time, but I just want to reiterate to you, those things tend to come down the most. Unless maybe it's a Matic or an Ethereum Classic. But I have to say, honestly, those still find a way to come down quite a bit, okay? When's the last time Matic has had a really big move compared to everything else? Yeah. Had this really beautiful pump last year, 270%. Over the next week, it came down 30%. I guess during the next big pump over here, it managed to come down 33, then 50, then 58, then eventually down here 65. These big moves that we see, they do come down a lot. So far, it's not nearly as big as this, but you could see it coming back down kind of a relative amount. Just back down here, maybe towards the high teens or so. Probably the mid-teens, if we're being honest. Maybe somewhere down here around $17. That's, again, if Bitcoin really decides to give away. The good thing, of course, is we're seeing breakouts as far as the NASDAQ and the SPY. Hopefully those breakouts can continue to hold on, right? All right. Hello. See, for me, guys, it says that sound is working. I don't know what's going on here. Now I can hear, I can't hear. So I can see on my screen. So here, let me show you guys something. Oops, what did I just do there? I wonder if I have any other platforms open. Because I can see, let me if I add this on here. Display capture, add source. Let's go to, yeah, let's just add that, okay. So you guys can see my big old wide screen right now. I'm just going to zoom in here because it's a wide screen, obviously. I'm going to move my streaming software over here. Move it over here. You guys can see my voice and how it's moving that thing up right there. It's been working for me the entire time. So there's some sound messing up. It could be on YouTube's end, but I'll try to figure it out. Oh, they're just trolling? Oh, okay, good, okay. Thank you guys, because I try to be a nice person. I don't try to believe that people are inherently bad. Although that could hurt me every now and again, right? Okay, there we go. Let me remove display capture. There we go. Okay, move that over here again. Let's see. Do I think PCE could cause a pump in Bitcoin? It sure could, but it would have to be way better than expectations, if, in my opinion, or at least meeting expectations. At this point, it's going to be PCE tugging and pulling against some of the big earnings plays that we saw today. So if I was to go over here and let's just kind of go, do I have earnings? I think I had actually an article about earnings. Tesla popped today with earnings. That was actually the thing that really caused the S&P to really pop today. It was pretty much Tesla, causing it to be like, oh, if Tesla's going to be pumping up so much, we better get in there as well. So yeah, Intel. Okay, so Intel I think was bad. I'm missing Intel's ticker. What is Intel's ticker? ITC. Oh, get out of here. NTC. Okay. So here's Intel at the end of the day today. All right. It was looking okay. It was at a level of resistance, but not, it was earnings day. We'll have to see, right? Well, go over here to the 5-minute chart. You'll see what happened after earnings. It just was not pretty, okay? So the NASDAQ may take a hit some more. It's not the largest market cap play, but again, if we go over here to, it's still a $120 billion company. It's still a pretty large company. So this should have some type of drag on the market tomorrow. That's, I think, what people are going to be more concerned about. We had also had Visa. Visa actually had a good earnings. I would just say decent, but I mean, I would say good. They didn't lose money. They didn't see the stock drop. I think it popped like 1% to 2%. Visa is something that I've been telling you guys I own for, and I will own for such a long time, even throughout whatever recession we come up with. You can see 5-minute chart. We had a decent pop, not a massive pop. Again, not a big one. Just went up to 224 to 227, but it had a good solid earnings, and it showed that people were spending a lot of money, and that was another good sign for the economy. Visa, like they can see every time somebody swipes with a Visa card, people know about it, right? People know about it. All right. And the last one here was Hasbro. What is Hasbro's ticker? I never even look at Hasbro. I haven't traded Hasbro since I traded Turtle Beach back in the day. Turtle Beach is a headphone brand, a gaming headphones and whatnot. Okay. But over here, you can see Hasbro drop like a rock after earnings. Right here, it looks like it was at 63 bucks. At the bottom, it was down about 8, and now it's only down about 6.5%, 7%. Another bad day for the NASDAQ here. So another reason I'm concerned. I don't think Hasbro is nearly as big as Intel, though. Intel's 120. Hasbro's, 8. Yeah. So not nearly as much of a pain, but you can see, there was, this isn't a breakout opportunity. I don't know why that line is there, but you're seeing it was consolidating just fine, and it had a nice little move over here from a double bottom that played out from $54. Now, again, it's come all the way back down here to $58, $59. So it might actually make its way back over here to 56, 55, and that might be another opportunity if you guys want to play a triple bottom, especially since the rest of the market's ticking off here. But it seems like the majority of the reasons why these companies are not doing so hot, besides Intel, is they actually had decent earnings, they actually were doing fine, but their forward-looking guidance seems to be very negative, and that seems to be a problem. Because the good news right now, as far as this entire economy is concerned, so to speak, is this. We've had a lot of layoffs so far, right? Well, not I would say that. We've had plenty of layoffs so far, but it's been mostly in the tech sector. If that starts to branch out into other sectors, that's where the pain really starts to hit. Right now, it's just been Google, Hasbro, Amazon, Meta, whatever. Washington Post, CNN, when you start to see mom and pop shops, industrial factories start doing layoffs, that's the big ouch moment that we have to start saying, something's going to be happening over the next few months. That's going to really lead to some really pain, or just the next month or so, right? It tends to happen really, really fast because nobody knows exactly when all these layoffs are going to be planned. Maybe keep an eye on some of these congressmen and women doing their trading stocks and whatnot. I think the rumor I've seen on TikTok and whatnot is Nancy Pelosi sold like $3 million worth of Google last month. And then a few days ago, the DOJ ended up going after Google, and now the stock price is plummeting. Or not plummeting, just dropping, just dropping. But I think she was able to make a good profit off of that. There you go. Watch the chart action here as far as Bitcoin's concerned. Bitcoin recovered from the drop tonight surprisingly fast. Well, guys, normally we tend to run up into not CPI data. We normally run up into federal rate hikes. And then we either have another boost off of the good news of the rate hike, or we have bad news and we kind of just start to tank, right? Since inflation's been going down, people keep on reading a lot into his media event afterwards. Media interview, press interview. He reads a statement and he answers questions. People are going to read into that a lot. People are going to be asking him, are we towards the end of the rate cycle here? How much longer are you going to raise rates? And he's going to say, we don't know what he's going to say. He could say something that really decides to boost up the rest of the market here. My concern at this point here is as we look at the Dow Jones, we look at we can go to the monthly charts for all of these. The Dow Jones, which is honestly, this is pretty crazy if you think about it. The Dow Jones is like 8.5%, like 9% away from all-time highs. Despite how bad the economy is currently, it's still 9% away from all-time highs. We're overbought like crazy right now, but who cares? The market's saying, let's go for it, so we have to trade it. But, when you look at it in terms like that, it absolutely is insane, right? But until this gives way, and we don't know exactly when it's going to happen, it looks like the market's trying to make some solid moves. We've already broken out a while ago as far as the Dow Jones is concerned, right? We broke out a while ago, broke out, used it as a level of support, and now we're just kind of trickling sideways ever since then. So that downtrend ended. Now we're just going more sideways, as we said before. So go back over here very fast. I don't know the point I was trying to make, so I'm sorry. I just blanked out for a second. But yeah, I'm more concerned about how high some of these are. Once we start seeing those layoffs, that's where things get a little bit more worse. But, excuse me. So as far as Jerome Powell is thinking about this, he wants to get inflation back down to 2% as fast as possible, right? So the thought process, the bearish thesis here is this. Well, if the market is still showing, the economy is still showing signs of strength, the markets are still doing very, very well, even though people think the economy is in a recession. Well, then, the way you think about it is, that means Jerome Powell can afford to raise interest rates even more or for even longer period of time because the economy is strong enough to handle it. That way, the economy can hold up against all this pressure to lower inflation, and therefore you can add more pressure, and the economy is still going to be able to hold. That's the thing here. And so eventually, that thought process, though, leads to a worse outcome because the economy eventually does capitulate, and Jerome Powell says he's not going to be lowering rates anytime during this year. He sees no reason to lower rates in 2023. Possibly 2024. I expect at least in 2024 we're going to start to lower rates, but he doesn't want to lower them before the end of this year. So if things get bad at any point during this year, and I want to remind you, it's just January, we have 11 more months to go, rates are going to be steady Eddie sideways. So he might stop hiking, but they're going to be sideways. That's still not going to be good because people are still going to be like, oh my God, are you going to raise rates now? Are you going to cut rates now? Remember, guys, it's rare that we actually have to keep rates sideways. Last time we had rates sideways was in 2007 before the financial crisis, over here before the dot-com bubble. And throughout this time, we really weren't combating inflation. We were combating inflation. Back over here in the 70s, 80s, right? Carter had some issues. Reagan came in, but Reagan, to fix this, he kind of increased the debt limits. And, debt started to pile up from here on out from every freaking president. So, we don't want to get in a situation like over here where, hey, let's lower rates. We lowered rates too fast. We've got to raise them again. That caused another recession. Let's not lower rates too fast here. Tons of recessions, tons of bad economic policies all around. And it just led to complete chaos. We don't want to deal with a recession. Like this is like 4 recessions in like a 12-year period. These days, I think most of us are just accustomed to having a recession like every 10 years. I think that's kind of what we're used to, at least me growing up, a recession every 10 years. We don't want to get into this cycle, so I think Jerome Powell is trying to just get us to just, if we are going to have a recession, let's just make it be one and get it over with and get inflation back down. There may be pain, but it's going to be much better than going through multiple years of inflation because, of course, the market during those times is not necessarily doing the best stuff. So, let's go to I guess NASDAQ wasn't as tech heavy as you would expect it to be today, but go to the monthly charts, way back in time. SPY going to do, or do you have to go all the way to the Dow? Yeah, we really have to go to the Dow. Okay. You see all that growth in that time period? See all that lovely growth? It was only after Reagan started his new economic policy, that's when everything really started. But again, a lot of that growth, right, that came with increased debt. So let's just go from like the 80s to the 90s. Debt was going up. You have to pay for that growth some way. And this time we're not going to be able to, to spend our way out of it. Biden may try, but I honestly think that the Federal Reserve is going to be very hesitant about printing new money like that and going crazy. So they might be able to pass some bills, but maybe there's going to be more scrutiny on how to fix it. But so if we have a recession going into 2023, 2024, we don't necessarily know how long it'll last. I don't think it'll be so long. I don't know if we're still going to have, maybe Democrats may win the House back, or maybe DeSantis or Trump or some Republican was going to win the presidency. I don't even know what the government will look like in 2024. Nobody knows. I would say Democrats are at this point are probably in the lead to kind of continue to control power, just because most presidents do continue to go on to the second term. But we basically just don't want to end up in this type of cycle here, right? We just don't want to end up where we have like a whole decade from 66 to 82, which is over a decade. Oh my gosh, of just nothing happening. Like, can you guys imagine the stock market during this time? It would just be horrible. The good thing now is there's so much more money sloshing in the economy relative to what we've seen before, right? What if you kind of zoom out? I know this is like you get this really tiny bars, but we're extremely high up here on this. It's okay for us to take a little bit more of a drop, and then we kind of pump back up. Nobody's talking about the Dow Jones coming all the way back down here to 2008 lows or something like that. There's too much money in the economy now. The federal balance sheet is too much. The Fed owns a lot of stuff. Now we just basically talk about it in terms of this, right? Are we going to come back down over to here? That's probably as low as we probably go, and then we maybe go sideways, and then we bounce back up. That's the hope, right? If things get really bad and we come back down here, I'd be surprised. We talked about these doomsday levels, so to speak, but to me, it's not going to happen unless something like financial crisis bad, mixed with a global recession bad, mixed with a nuke goes off in Russia bad. Like, it has to be like really bad for me to see us going all the way back down here to 18,000. Like, it just seems like it would have to be so bad for that to happen, and I don't see it happening right now. I just see the economy getting worse, bringing us back down to these levels, and us just kind of having some fun with it. Because if you guys look as far as the Dow's concerned, the Dow didn't have as big of a pump, and I think that's why it's actually doing fairly well compared to, I want to say, like the NASDAQ and stuff. At least I think it hasn't. So if we go from the pre-COVID highs, no, let's just go to these little highs over here. No, let's just go from COVID low to high. We saw an increase of 100%. 100%, okay? NASDAQ, COVID lows to high, 147% higher. SPY, 119%. So both had more growth than the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I think that's why the Dow's been okay with not just plummeting to earth, because it didn't have as many overbought assets or companies like we saw with the S&P and the NASDAQ. I think that's what's going on there. However, you can see these trends starting to slow, and I'm not a fan of that, especially since we're going to have these death crosses here. And those death crosses, historically, once they break down below the 200, not really good stuff is happening during those times in the as far as the economy is concerned. All right, let's get back over here. Let's go back to a nice simple 15-minute chart. No more of these huge charts. But Bitcoin definitely is trying to hold. I would really just pay attention to that 4-hour chart. Watch that 50 moving average here. The 20 has been a problem, right? But we've managed to get back above it over here as well. You can see there's a big drop, relatively big drop, and then we find a way to pump back up. You can see the force needed to bring us back up each time has been pretty nice. This one, solid pump up, didn't really get too much better, but then boom. This one, right off the bat, big boom right there, mostly because we had good economic news at the same time. There we go. But at this point, I like what we're seeing. Hey, Jacob Bake, I've been good this whole time? Okay, perfect, guys. I believe people. It's one of my bad things. I just believe people too much. I can be gullible at times. Not with my assets, but just with trusting people on YouTube and whatnot. Let's see right here. And hey, discount. Intel is the worst performer in my dividend portfolio. Dude, it's. I think it probably is the worst dividend player in my portfolio as well. I think I have like 4% Intel in mine. Now I'm not going to sell it, but because it's in a long-term mix that I own. But it's going to be painful. I was actually working with Chat GPT today to make a script about how to make a dividend portfolio for you guys. So look forward to that. I've had to tweak it so much though, because it's going to be like a kind of a script, but I'm also going to be showing you guys what to do. ChatGPT is good at explaining stuff, but not interpreting that with me showing you the proper tutorial. Like, how do you add a trend on a chart? It'll say something, but then I actually got to show you how to do it, and that never matches up with what the ChatGPT text is saying. So get ready. I'm going to be working on one of those. I also have a video coming out tomorrow talking about how to read bank statements, which would be pretty interesting, even though most of you guys maybe know how to do that. Mostly for the search engine crowd, excuse me. Yeah. Oh, and one other thing about Ethereum before I start answering some more questions. Ethereum has had a few breakouts here. This is not the chart I had before. I don't like I had all these other technicals on here and I don't know why. Oh, I'm on this one and not this one. Ha 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 ha. Okay, if I go over here, is it all good and good? Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Ethereum hasn't broken out yet as far as its longer term trend right there. I'm hoping we have an opportunity to do so, but right now this is actually just hitting a basic level of resistance and failing to get above it. Watching the 20-day moving average here, again, go over to the 4-hour chart. While Bitcoin is held, this one has not, and usually this kind of leads Bitcoin a little bit as well here. So just be prepared. They're coming back down to support levels. It's really as far as Ethereum. Let's just hope it doesn't come back down here, because again, that big move that we saw, that starts to show weakness from this support level over here, this support level over here, and we start coming back down to maybe the $1,300 to $1,200 levels. Not the best, because if Ethereum's going down, Bitcoin's going down. If Bitcoin's going down, everything's going down. And usually Bitcoin will move down before Ethereum does, but sometimes Ethereum does lead the way like I think it is right now. So keep an eye on it. I only say keep an eye on it, honestly, because this will probably happen while we're asleep tonight, guys. So unless you guys are in Europe or China, any potential downward move for as far as Bitcoin's concerned would happen over the next 16 hours, probably over the next 8 to 10 hours. So we got 3 hours left here. So 3-hour candle, 3 hours left. Got what is this? 7 hours. So it's 11. So it's 8 o'clock in the morning. So it'll happen sometime early morning. For you East Coasters, it actually probably happened towards you just regular morning when you guys are getting coffee or stopping off at Starbucks. If you guys have Starbucks, you guys have Starbucks out there. If you guys are going after Starbucks, I meant to say. So just keep an eye on it. If it does happen over the next 3 to 7 hours, then we might be screwed because it might be down here by the time we wake up around 22,000, trying to hold that support level and looking at that downward trend. I would want it to hold there, but you can see there's a clear level of support around here, clear level. But you don't want to see these trends start to shift. You got to hope that the news that comes out tomorrow, that comes out before the next 16 hours, so to speak, gives Bitcoin another pump. We start going another to $24,000, $25,000, and then from there we kind of just wait it out for and have a nice little weekend. Because tomorrow's Friday, Saturday, no stock market. Sunday, no stock market. Bitcoin can do whatever it wants. We just want to see this growth continue, this nice large move continue. And hey, Anonymous, sorry, it took me a second to read your name. Life's been good. Pretty busy here. I've been thinking about doing a lot more videos, trying to get some senators and congressmen to come on a new show that I'm working on to explain their policy positions or just say what their policy positions are, basically, just so I can have like an account so all of you guys can see, hey, my politician thinks this, my politician thinks this. I think it'd just be an interesting series where I basically work with their staff to kind of come up with some questions so they can get their policy positions across. So I'm not going to try to do a Tucker Carlson takedown interview or Anderson or what's the guy from MSNBC? I forget his name. Chris Matthews or whatever his name is. It's more of just like, hey, what do you think about the blockchain technology? What do you think about the FTX saga? Like, do you think there should be more regulations on exchanges? What do you think? Like, what do you see? What are some things that you think are being worked on right now in order to fix some of these problems that we have as far as transparency issues and things like that? So I'm working on that. So far, I've only gotten one congressperson that's been interested. I got an email response today from Senator Brown of Ohio. His communications director said he was too busy for it, even though I said I would there's no time limit to how long I'd wait for a senator. But I guess my YouTube channel is not large enough for Senator Brown. But I'm going to continue to email and call Ted Cruz, Patty Murray, Murray Cantwell, my senators out here, DeSantis. I'll try to get Trump. I'll try to get Biden. I'll try to get anybody. And hopefully some of them have some sympathy for a small YouTuber out there just trying to get some action. Like, I want to know what people think. Well, I want to know what our legislators think. And I want you guys to know what your legislators think too, or just legislators in general, right? The chances of me getting your specific senator or congresswoman is going to be very, very hard, which is why I'm starting off a lot with Washington first. Because if you guys didn't know, if you guys go to any senator or congressman, a lot of times just to message them, you have to actually input your street address. And so I think it filters them out if they don't actually live in the state or the district. One of the senators, I think it was from Massachusetts or something, I emailed her, or I tried to, and she said she doesn't take messages from people outside her state. And I was like, okay, that's fine, fair enough. She might get bombarded by a whole bunch of stuff, you know. But I was like, okay, on to the next person. You know, we got 50 senators that I'm trying to reach out to right now. The other 50 will kind of come later on because I don't want to be overwhelmed. And I'm a one person show here. It's not like I have a full staff to try to coordinate all this stuff. And then as far as House of Reps, there's a lot of them. There's like 400 something, right? So I'm taking that slowly. But I'm waiting on more emails. I haven't checked out my email in the last few hours. Do I have any new emails? Nope. All I got is I'm invited to some 5G hub speakers something. Oh, T-Mobile 5G hub event. An evening dedicated to automotive. I might go to that one. I don't know if I feel depending on I have to drive to it. I don't know. But yeah, I've been a lot of speaking events and stuff like that out here in the Northwest. It's been pretty interesting. Mostly, guys, I've been planning out my trip to Vegas. I'm so excited for this trip to Vegas. You guys have no idea. What's right here? Oh, sorry, guys. I skipped some messages because I was skipping all the stuff about the sound. The sound. Um, did I go over the SPY? Yeah, I went over the SPY. I can go over it again very fast. So we did break out as far as the SPY is concerned. It's a beautiful, beautiful little breakout right here. We just have to worry about some next level of supports right around there, around like 410 or so. The big news is, are we going to continue to run up into the federal rate hikes and I would say Apple's earnings on the second? Those are going to be very, very big things. I think the rate hike. Let's see. Yeah, Fed meeting calendar. I think it's on the second too. First and second or something. Oh, okay. Never mind. It's 31st to the first. Oh, so it's the first. So the first is the meeting, or the first is the rate hike. The second is Apple earnings, and that's going to be that big 1-2 punch. Basically, I don't know why I thought it was the second though. Maybe because I was getting confused with Apple, so it's also on the second. But yeah. So we're going to have a big 1-2 punch. Are we going to continue to rally up into that? Because again, as far as trading days are concerned, that's tomorrow, that's Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, boom. Thursday, boom, and we'll get to see. I don't know if there's many other earnings happening in that same time frame. So, because we had Tesla yesterday, Tesla was very, very good. The people on CNBC's face when Tesla earnings came out, they were so upset. They do not like Elon anymore, and so they like to talk about how his downfall. But when he does well, they're like, and I like Elon. You guys know I like Elon. I like what he's trying to do with Twitter. I like what he's trying to do as far as Tesla. I like the green energy component there. But let's see. Has Google reported yet? February 2nd. So Google and Apple the same day. That's really going to be the big move here. Looks like Google's already broken out, depending on which way you look at it there. Probably not this larger one. Maybe the larger one actually too. So yeah. But right now, SPY is working out. As far as some of these resistance levels, though, just keep an eye on them. Not the craziest resistance levels, I think, at this moment in time. But you can see a little bit of resistance there. Managed to break out, get kind of choppy. That was mostly because everything else was up at the levels of resistance. Maybe some resistance here at 406, but I think we can really get up to this level of resistance up here. Right there. But between 410 and 414, that'd be a price target as far as this breakout's concerned. We have had false breakouts in the past. That's why I'm not totally just bought into this. But I'm curious to see how much further we have to go. And I'll be excited to see how much further the SPY has to go, especially with all this good economic news we've been having over the past few weeks. There we go. Oh, and Tesla. Is Tesla still part of the SPY? I got to test this out very fast. It's on the Nasdaq now. It's on the Nasdaq now. Okay, not the SPY. I think it got taken off the S&P or something like that. So it's a Nasdaq player now. So actually, this didn't contribute to the pump as far as the SPY contributed to the pump as far as the Nasdaq. That's interesting. I wonder what the weight is then. Test the weight on Nasdaq. 3%, 3%, 10% up. Yeah, it was a pretty big part of it. I would say probably the Apple stuff was probably more. There we go. Mike, I hear Netflix is cracking down on shared accounts, canceling 10 million of them. Can you do some TI on Netflix? Yeah, Netflix is interesting right now because it's already pumped up so much, so I really don't want to buy Netflix right now. Of the Netflix I bought a while ago, in fact, I'm actually closer to selling it. You'll see why, right? I'm a big proponent of buying stuff after it's crashed, as long as the company is still being run soundly. When Netflix started to crash over here, I started to dollar cost average into it, and I kind of stopped around here. And so my average for this is kind of 215, 210. And it's up at 364 now. I did the same thing with Meta. I did the same thing with Amazon, although Amazon didn't fall down as much after the earnings, right? But you can just go like 215, 210 over here. So not the bottom. The bottom over here is 162. I wasn't that lucky, but that's what dollar cost averaging gets you. It gets you a good range. Okay, let's just go to 215 over here. It's up around 69%. That golden number. So I see it as an opportunity for me to sell back out. I don't think we're going to go back up all the way here to 462 or anything crazy. I'm kind of inclined to get out of this pretty soon. Now, excuse me, whoosh. Take a sip of water here. Let's move this over to the weekly, actually, just to show you that resistance level I'm looking at here. It really just comes down to this 2-week resistance level right there from all the way back in March of last year. So a little bit like 10, 11 months ago. We might make it all the way up there. You see the golden cross as far as the weekly charts are concerned. That's crazy cool. You can see since then, nice little pop. There's a resistance level up here on 407. I'm more inclined to just scale out, and I haven't even started to sell any of this off yet. When I think I really should have by now, but this is one of those things where I was trying to better myself as a trader and hold on. Normally, you guys know I sell too early, but I make a profit, so I usually don't care. This is one of the things where I tried to do a little bit. I'm trying to do it with Amazon too right now, actually. But you can see there's a pretty nice trend line right here, depending on which one you're going for. One right there. One right there. Right, this is a weekly chart as well. We keep on accelerating. I would say over the next few weeks, you're going to have to see Netflix cool off, and that's going to be an opportunity that I would want to buy some puts. I would assume that cool down part, when it starts to happen, would bring you all the way back down here to 330s levels, which would be my first probably recommendation as far as like a week to 2 week long put position, probably with a strike price around 340, 335, probably 335 if you want to get cheaper puts. But again, I've been trying to do some of the simple technicals that I like to do over the past few months and stuff like that. This one, it really didn't work out too well, so I've been having to find other ones to try to find those like natural resistance levels. Sometimes you see that some of them work and some of them don't. This one kind of matches up with that resistance level, which is the first. That's why I kind of drew it up for you guys here. I guess you could always add other ones here. We don't talk about just adding other stuff, but see there's one right there, one right there. That's the actually do. I need to go back to the ones, right? 3, right? That one kind of matched up. So you can always add some other stuff here. Right now we're testing out that one, right? So I want to make sure you guys understand there are other levels to this. Normally I don't even have that one. I don't even have that one in there. That one matched up okay. But again, it's not as nice and clean as I would like to see it, but there's that one right there. And so again, that one is probably the resistance level where I think you might see some pivot point. If probably though, it would probably happen. So the pivot might start next week or the week after that. And that's if we have bad news, okay? Now, another one that you might like here is something more to the effect of this. Okay, I normally try to sell the 1. You can see how this is matching up right here. This is the one that I think is better. However, I think it wouldn't be surprising if we broke out above this, have like a half candle above it or something like that, then continue to break back down. I just don't see us getting back above that 200 weekly moving average. It was hard enough for us to stay above it this entire time. Look at this. This 200 has been freaking fantastic for it. We're hardly ever down below it. Okay, and that's primarily because Netflix, as you guys know, has had really good growth over the past few years, not decades. But yeah, so I'm watching it close. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. See how we're facing that resistance. I still think we have room to pop back up, but I would be more inclined to maybe tomorrow, if you wanted to start getting into it, you might have to deal with some theta issues down the road, but tomorrow, Monday, I could actually see a potential to buy 335 puts expiring, not this Friday, not the following Friday, but the Friday after that. Not entirely sure how much they would cost, but you can see how this resistance was kind of accurate over here. Resistance was kind of accurate. Resistance over here, not accurate right there. Accurate over here, a little bit over there. a little bit over here. Actually, this was the high point, so it doesn't matter. So after here, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there, not there, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit here. All right, so, but I want to see Netflix. If I can back out of this very fast, I don't want to see after hours action. My price target would just be right around here, the 330s, 335, 340. I'm not going to try to play it all the way down here to some monster move. I would actually have different positions opened up, again, going off of each breakdown that occurred. So we have a breakdown right here that could happen. Before that, though, you're going to have a breakdown that happens right here. To me, this one really sets things in motion, and that's only because we've kind of gone so high, and Netflix has just like outpaced a lot of other assets in the market, and primarily that's because it fell down so much. So that's kind of my look for it now. I'd be much more inclined to do puts. Just look at that. I mean, just look at that. Things don't just keep popping like this. Is the monthly chart. Things don't keep popping like that. And of course, you also see the 20 and the 50-month moving averages there. And it actually has a death cross on the monthly charts. When's the last time I had death cross on the monthly charts? Yeah, way over here. I don't use death crosses on monthly charts, but it's just interesting to see the last time some of these things have actually happened. Yeah, this is back in 2011, 2012. Okay, now, because it reminds me a lot of Meta. I always want to type in Facebook. I'm never going to get used to it. Remember, I bought some of this during the crash we had a while ago, and I started doing some dollar cost averaging. Not nearly as a good move as Netflix on my part, but you can at least see from the bottom here to where it is, that's 66%. Before it was just from where I bought them. This one, my average is actually tied up all pretty much right in there. I really missed a lot of this big move here because I was doing something. I don't remember what. October. I was in Vegas. There you go. I'm going to Vegas in March. Probably something crazy is going to happen this March. Just mark my words. But yeah, you can see that so far, my position's pretty much up like 33%. Again, we're running up towards some resistance. Most of that resistance here is going to be right around there. I don't think we're going to be able to break above it. And for me, it's just look how fast we've gone up. Just look how crazy that is. You guys can use a number of different Fibonacci levels, whatever you guys want to. I would actually say for Netflix and things like this that have kind of crashed and then they're taking off, a little bit of DocuSign, Zoom, and things of that nature, because they ran up so much. When you do these little Fibonacci levels, again, we're there. This is my price target for Meta. I should be selling today. I'm trying to hold on a little bit longer to see what happens because you guys know me. I sell too early. It's my bad habit. But maybe we come back up here again, right up here to the 200 daily moving average, maybe right up here to 154. Maybe we even wake up to 159. But starting tomorrow, I am going to probably start scaling out since I think I actually did break out above this today. Yeah, we did break out above it today. 4 hour. Maybe not on the 4 hour. Maybe not. I'll see. I mean, worst thing is I just walk with a little bit less money. It's not going to be, I'm not trading options. I'm just like literally holding assets here. But yeah, so it's been some basic levels that I've been looking at, but we've just gone up so much. How could I not want to take some money off the table? But again, we're on these really crazy uptrends. We're going to have to break down eventually, and we're going to have a sizable come down. This one probably takes it back to 137, 138. I'd probably have 135 strike, 140 strike price puts, and I'd probably buy them for next Friday or the Friday after that, probably the Friday after that. But the way the market usually works is the big move normally happens Thursday and Friday after the interest rate hike, which is going to be on Wednesday. So, you might just do it next Friday, but instead of doing a 135, then maybe you just do a 145, and which is pretty close to in the money, so it might be a little more pricey, but you're going to have a safer play as far as being able to either exercise those shorts or puts, or perhaps just making sure you can take a little bit of profit off of it. You just don't want your to go up by any chance and really mess up your opportunity to walk away with some money. You don't want to see your options go down to zero, so to speak. Okay. But yeah, there's a lot of other plays like that. Just be careful. The one as far as Amazon. So I told you guys I bought this at 95 because that was the last earnings. So I started buying it over here. I bought 95 right there. It came all the way down to 85. It came all the way down to 81. And now back up to 99. So I'm like $5 in profit here. This is not the best performer I have, honestly. And you can see it's had some weird, it's broken out a few times and it's not really doing anything after the breakout. Kind of sucks, but it's my thing. And earnings come over here also on the second. Also, this is going to be second's going to be the big day, everybody. The second is going to be it. 2nd of February, excuse me. So I'm going to keep these here because these are longer term positions. But for Netflix, I don't feel any pain for selling my Netflix and trying to buy it back at a lower price because I'll just be able to own more Netflix. It's not like Netflix is giving me some crazy dividend or something. Like, I just want to hold the asset. No, they're not doing that. Same with Meta. They're just not giving me dividends. So why would I, treat it as dividend play as long term? So for a lot of these, I'm watching them closely, but I messed up on the timing here. I probably should have continued to dollar cost average. I just kind of bought in bulk. Again, over here in December, came down a little bit. Over here in December as well, late December, holidays. I'm not really buying stuff in the holidays. I think we were just doing a few streams a week at that point anyway. But yeah, I'm looking at some nice stuff. I'm trying to hold on to this longer as well because look, we have a golden cross. Maybe we pump up here to 105. My price target is somewhere filling up this gap right here from about 106 to 104. If we get up there, I'm probably going to start scaling out a little bit and hoping that it comes back down. Just, not something crazy, just enough so I can buy more Amazon down the road. But those type of plays, they've been very fun, but, I'm watching out for others. I almost want to buy Intel to next week. Probably tomorrow. I kind of, so because Intel's come down towards the end of a rally, if that makes sense, I kind of want to see, hey, have a bad day. A rally could possibly end over the next few weeks as we hit this Apple earnings, Google earnings, Meta earnings, yada, yada, yada. Amazon earnings, excuse me. As we hit those earnings, and if we do come down, I think Intel will probably come down a lot more. But I might just dollar cost average into something like that because I know Intel is going to survive for a while, but they could have some pain because, again, I said it like looking at that sentence last time, the last few minutes, as long as they're properly managed. It doesn't appear that Intel is actually being properly managed at this point because they're having issues that you wouldn't normally expect from Intel. They're underutilizing the factories, which isn't a good sign. It means they don't have enough productivity to actually run their factories at full capacity. Tesla's pumping out cars in order to meet the demand of people that want Tesla cars. Imagine nobody wants Teslas and then they can't, so they don't need to pump out as many cars. The factories aren't being utilized properly. Or not even that. It's even worse than if that happened as far as Tesla, because that means it's a simple demand issue. Intel's just having some mismanagement issues. It's just not the best. And as far as Bitcoin's concerned, the 15-minute chart, we finally broke back above that 20. Maybe we can make our way back up here to $23,000 over the next few minutes. Let's see. Hey, Anonymous. If this market in this market condition, I don't hold my position. Oh, in this market condition, I don't hold my positions overnight. Either I sell, win-loss. Market is way overextended. We're going to need to pull back eventually, but because of all this news, the market could continue to pump. It's just how much further we get overextended, I guess you would say. The SPY just broke out. NASDAQ just broke out. Bitcoin broke out about a week ago. And everything, at least now, Bitcoin's still holding strong, but the NASDAQ and SPY, they've just broken out. Let's see how much more of a pump we can have off of it. I would say, though, it really comes down to rate hikes on the first, Amazon earnings, Google earnings, Apple earnings. The holy trinity of massive market caps that can just demolish the NASDAQ, thereby demolish the SPY, thereby demolish really just the Bitcoin market, right? Crypto markets. Will inflation ever go to 5%? Yes, if Jerome Powell has the guts to not cut. It's going to be a blinking contest here. I don't know who's going to win, but it is going to be quite a battle, I'll tell you that. Upshot is back on YouTube. He changed his name to Dogecoin Live. Why he picked the name? Probably because people want to see Dogecoin Live. Remember, if you guys type in Dogecoin Live, I'm pretty sure my stream pops up. Is there a way to do this? Website. So if I go over here. Oh, no, I think I might have to go to... Hold on a second here. Normally, it works best if you do it... works best if you do it through incognito mode. Because I'm a Dogecoin YouTuber. It usually shows it right there. No, actually, I don't see his channel there. No, I don't know. Maybe because he just changed the name here. But yeah, Upshot, he's I don't know. He probably. Oh, sorry guys, I need to go to the stream. He probably lost a lot of money from all the stuff that happened. He probably got sued by some people, and it probably cost just a lot of lawyer fees. To be frank, um, so he's probably just looking for a way to make money. And Low Roller Scratcher just talked about, did YouTube ad revenue channels affect your channel? Yeah, my ad revenue is down about maybe 10-15%, and that's primarily because less advertisers. But this normally happens in January. January is the worst month for advertisers historically. So everybody uses a whole bunch of ads during the holidays because they want you to spend all this money. Everybody cools off in January, builds up their plan for the new year, and then they start picking back up around February, March, April, especially during Valentine's Day, St. Patty's Day. Things start to pick up then. But since everybody's afraid that there's going to be a recession, you've seen ad spending already go down drastically. And that's just kind of the way it works out as far as YouTube is concerned. So to kind of remedy that, I've been putting out a lot more content, and I will continue to put out more content, I would say. But a lot of it's going to be AI-assisted content from ChatGPT. I'm actually probably going to do a couple of ChatGPT tutorials. Not a generic one, because I feel like there's enough of those on YouTube already. But, how to write a professional email with ChatGPT, how to write a resume with ChatGPT, stuff that I think can actually help you guys. And then I'll also be using it to kind of make my life a little bit easier as far as helping me write scripts. So it might write a rough draft for a script as far as YouTube video, and then I improve upon it, and then then we have something really, really good. The video I'm going to be making tomorrow that will be published Saturday will be how to build your own dividend portfolio, and I use about 20% of that was made with ChatGPT. Most of it's going to be me obviously recording and going through Finviz and showing you guys what to look for, maybe pulling up a 10K report or so. But it has been a help, and it does make my life just a little bit easier. So whenever they start asking me to pay for it, I'm definitely going to be one of the first to say, yeah, I need it. I need it. And thanks, Anonymous. I really do appreciate that. I try to share some wisdom when I can. $31 trillion debt. That's fantastic. Dude, the debt's not getting fixed anytime soon. I think we're going to pass the debt limit bill down the road. There's probably going to be some type of compromise, but we're going to pass it. But I just don't see the debt getting any better, honestly, at this point. You just see debt go up and up and up and up and up, and we'll just have to see what happens when one day we really can't afford it. I just don't know how it works out. And I'm not the best economist out there, so I really don't know what happens when a country can't pay its bills. Let's ask ChatGPT. Let's ask ChatGPT here. What happens when a country goes into default? Goes into default. Did I spell that right? I think I did. Okay. So it says when a country goes into default, it means that it's unable to pay its debt obligation on time. This can occur for various reasons, such as a downturn in the economy or excessive government spending. When a country defaults, it can have a significant negative consequences, such as a loss of access to international credit markets, a decrease in the value of its currency, and a decline in its overall economic stability. Additionally, bondholders may suffer losses, and investors may be less willing to lend to the country in the future. Is there a way to make a profit during this event? Let's see. That's a long answer. I don't feel like doing that. But basically, it says there may be opportunities for some investors to make profit. However, it's important to note that investing during a default carries a high level of risk and is not recommended for most investors. Probably true, as far as not for most investors. Some investors may choose to buy the defaulted debt at a discounted price and then hold on to it in the hopes that the country will eventually be able to pay off its debt and the bonds will increase in value. This strategy is known as distressed debt investing. Because America is very, still powerful, still wealthy. I think if we had some type of default type of issue this summer with Republicans and Democrats being unable to compromise and do some type of deal to raise the debt limit, that could actually be a good idea right there. But, another way to make profit is through short selling the country's currency or bonds, probably just short the dollar against the euro or something like that. Probably a good opportunity there. But, yeah, they're highly speculative and carry significant risk. Like here, how high can the USA debt get before we start to run into issues? Oh, it says it's difficult to determine and can vary depending on a number of factors such as economic growth, interest rates, and government spending. As of 2021, the U.S. debt was over $28 trillion, and it continues to grow. It is the highest in the world. However, the U.S. economy is also one of the largest in the world, right? That's why we can do it. And it has a relatively stable political environment. I don't know about that, which allows it to borrow at a relatively low interest rates. However, as debt levels increase, the interest payments on that debt also increase, which can lead to a debt spiral where the government has to spend more and more of its budget to increase payments. How much of the U.S. Budget is spent on debt? That's interesting. Oh, here we go. Okay. So it says, last thing, we'll go back to the charts, I promise. But it says interest payments on national debt are a significant portion of the U.S. federal budget. The exact amount of the budget that is spent on debt depends on the interest rates at the time, but it can be substantial. As of 2021, and this is about, moderate interest rates. We're not as high as we are now, obviously. But it says as of 2021, the U.S. government spent about 7% of its budget on interest payments on the national debt. This amount is projected to increase in the future as interest rates rise and the debt continues to grow. It is important to note that although 7% may not seem like a large amount, it represents a significant portion of the budget, and it's money that could be spent on other programs such as education, infrastructure, and healthcare. So, what was the U.S. budget for 2021? And what is 7% of that number? Let's see if it's smart enough to know this. Basically, 2021, 4.8 trillion. 7% of 4.8 trillion is $336 billion on debt. Oh my lord. So let's say I made what's like an average salary around Seattle, like $5,000 a month. So what is a 5K? So really, yeah, you just spend like $350 a month just on debt. Wow. Whoa. Yeah. I mean, what do you guys think about that? I mean, um, that just seems like an astronomically high number for debt. um. Okay. Sorry. One last question. What are things? Um. USA cut to help with the debt that both Democrats and Republicans could agree on. Here we go. It can be difficult to identify, but let's see. Reducing government waste and fraud. Both parties may agree that there is likely to some from waste and fraud within the government, and the efforts to identify and eliminate this waste could help reduce spending. So, unnecessary defense spending. I don't know if Republicans would agree with that, but I think Democrats would probably want that. Reducing subsidies for big corporations. Maybe both of them like that. I know more Republicans are being angry at, I guess what they might call woke companies, but I don't know if they'd actually go for that. Cutting unnecessary foreign aid. I don't know if we would go against that too. Right now, I think foreign aid is pretty much Ukraine at this point, right? For Democrats, and I think a lot of Republicans are actually still in favor of giving a lot of money to Ukraine. Saw a bunch of senators that Republicans actually joining hands with Democrats to talk about pushing Biden to actually send over those tanks. Reducing Medicaid fraud. I don't know if they do that. Streamlining government bureaucracies. I don't think you would actually see any compromise on any of these topics. And maybe that's why we're going to keep on seeing debt continue to go up higher. I mean, the AI tried to give us a couple ideas. Like, here, I don't think they would compromise on any of those. You are correct that finding areas in agreement on budget cuts can be difficult, especially in the current political climate. The areas I mentioned earlier are potential areas of agreement, but it's possible for both parties. It's possible that both parties may not agree on specific proposals. And it's important as a long term. I'm not going to go into all this, but what do you call it? Yeah, it's like, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, I mean that is pretty interesting to kind of see how all that works out. Let's see. And hey, honest, Apple earnings could make or break the market. I'm waiting to make any buys. I'm mostly just scaling out at this point because we have had a really good run. But I'm hoping we can at least go a little bit higher. Let's see. And it goes, Diamond from Diamond and Silk. Oh, past yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine, I guess, who was pretty close with them, and he was talking about how sad it was. He had taken a couple pictures. He's an entrepreneur. He knows a lot of people in the conservative and democratic movements, as you might say. But yeah, he was telling me all about that. I saw it. I think I saw it on Twitter. I think at the same time too. You can build ChatGPT into your Discord. Oh, that'd be kind of cool too. I might try to do that. If the USA went into default, no alternative for the USA, alternative China, India, Russia. I don't know. I mean, America, it's a pretty big hole to fill. The thing about being the number one in the world at like when it comes to defense spending and stuff like that, it takes a lot of money to keep that up. Like, how much is USA spending on? Yeah. Let's just do this. On its, probably just should call it defense, compared to Russia and China and not China and India. Any other big country out there? Europe really isn't a country, so I guess we can just do those ones. So in 2020, we spent 778 billion. Russia was only 65 billion. China was estimated 252 billion. India was 71 billion. And it says it's important that these numbers are estimates, so that's the best we're probably going to get. But again, we're doing more than all of these people combined. All of them combined, okay? So if they wanted to take that big top dog spot, that means they would have to spend money to have bases all across the world, have navies running all the time, all over the world. It just be insane. Like, here. There you go. How many air bases does America have around the world? This would be the last thing we do with ChatGPT. It doesn't tell me exactly how many, but it says we have about 800 military bases around the world. That's a lot. That's a lot of money to upkeep. You got to send supplies out there. You got to pay for stuff. It's an expensive thing to be the top dog as far as military is concerned, right? It'd be hard for any country to actually take that mantle. If America falls, it's not so much that China rises to the top or Russia rises to the top. It's just that the whole world kind of goes into this like more of a warlike state where there's not one type of country saying don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. It'd be much more of a coalition style government. I think of America right now being more as not as a dictator, but a president with a lot of powers as far as the leader of the free world, right? A lot of powers. You can imagine without America at the lead, it might be something what we're seeing with Peru right now, where you have lots of riots and protests and all types of crazy anarchy stuff. There's still a president, but the situation is just much more. There's much more turmoil, And if there's much more turmoil in the world, there's less trade and passage of goods between different nations. And if there's less of that, there's less growth, because our entire system right now is kind of built off of this globalist system. And if we have a lack of growth, people start, getting angry at their own countries. So you might see European revolutions, American revolutions, Latin America having much more issues because they don't have anything to sell to America, so our money is not flowing down there. You could probably see China losing tons and tons of jobs. They don't have enough. China would fall really fast because they just have so many people. Same with India, just be really, really bad because they have so many people. Canada would probably have some pain, but Canada has so much land, they'd be okay. America would probably be forced to invade Canada at some point, leading to mass worldwide anarchy. All types of crazy stuff would probably happen if that was the case. But again, I don't see us losing that dominance, because even if we do something crazy like default on the debt, we just one day we can't pay for it because the debt's going to cost us like $1 trillion a year just to pay off our debts. At a certain point, we would still be spending so much money on our defense, We can't give it up. We can't give it up even if we wanted to. That's right here. Since the tech companies lay off employees in California, you expect the house crash 75% since people can't afford the house? No, because a lot of people that live in California, they move from other places. They just happen to have enough money. If you go over here to Zillow to, I don't know, San Francisco, let's go to, I just want a house. I don't want a townhome. No. Go here. Okay. San Francisco, right? Nothing under $1 million. Surprise. No, I think there's something under $1 million. $788,000. Way over here towards the bottom. What's over here? There you go. Yeah, that's why it's $788,000. There's no pictures though, so we can't really talk about it. Let's just say go over here, right? Something more moderate. Most people that work in San Francisco actually live way out here, though. I want to make sure that's clear. Not everybody, San Francisco is really expensive to just try to own a house in. But here's one. 4-bedroom, $2.3 million. Even that one's not looking too hot. My gosh, what the heck happened to San Francisco? I haven't been to San Fran in a while. That's over $2 million. That's all land value. Oh my gosh. Has the price been cut though? $13,000 a month if you want to buy it. Built in 1907. It used to be valued at $2.6 million. Now it's only valued at 2.3. Oh, my 2.2. It was sold in 2019 for $1.8 million. They're trying to sell it now for a 27% profit. They're selling it a little too late. So after all of that, I guess they must have just rented this house out or something. How do you mess up a house? Gosh, yeah, I'm not interested in turning this home. Hell no. I'm really surprised there's houses like this just downtown. This is a 1.5? Really? They just, so many. I'm really surprised how bad the houses are here. Really surprised. It used to be valued at 2.8. Now it's only valued at 1.5. You guys can see this little chart way down here. Falling off of a freaking cliff. Oh, listed for sale at $2,095,000. Then there was a 4.8% price cut, then a 14.8% price cut, then another 8% price cut. Price cut. So it started off at over $2 million. Now it's down to $1.5 million. Price cut. That's what the current market is doing. But if you compare that to Seattle, San Francisco is outrageous compared to Seattle. When you look at Seattle houses that cost a lot of money, they tend to be, go over here downtown. We don't actually have as many houses for sale. That's the issue. But if you go over here to Seattle, like $2.5 million, like some of that other house, look at this house is, well, maybe I can show you. Oh my gosh, I actually know the people that used to live here. Okay, but what do you call it? You get a view of the city, view of the water. Look at that interior, modern, nice, sleek inside. So you get a lot more. And I feel like a lot of cities are closer to Seattle. Like I see Texas is more like this for what you're buying for a really expensive house. But this is, you got a decent, things are kind of in a good spot. You don't feel like something is nasty. You're not going to see mold if you just walk into a random room. Those California houses freaking scared me. I'm really surprised about how bad they were managed. Usually if you want to buy a really expensive house, you kind of go in and fix it up and, and sell it off. Texas, Austin. Oh, wow, there's so many houses for sale. Seattle just doesn't have houses for sale. Every time I go to another city, look at this. Look at all these houses. Seattle just doesn't have anything for sale. Here's a $2 million house. This isn't bad, right? Not a great looking house, but it's not like, like it just, like it's like Oakland house. Look at interior, inside. Yeah, perfect. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see right there. All that beauty. All that beauty. Not looking nasty inside. I feel like most parts in America are looking for that. Because like from where I go, like I used to look at houses over here before I figured out I was going to move to Nicaragua. But I used to live right downtown here. I got tons of friends that live in this little quadrant, and I love the houses over here, but they're very, very old. But you go into this one, this is $1.1 million. Again, old house. Old house. I want to, but interior is nice, everything nice. You got fireplaces, a lot of open rooms, a lot of unnecessary rooms. These people have some, I don't know, I just imagine what store you actually buy those from. I never could figure it out. But everything for the most part, just nice. Weird place for an oven. Oh, they got there's 3 ovens. What the? 3 ovens. Just look at that, okay? Old style bathroom and stuff like that. But some of these houses even had old ballrooms and stuff underneath them. There's even the warehouse or mansion is over here too. Like imagine having this bathroom with the view of outside. It's always raining, so I'm not entirely sure how nice that would be. New construction. Oh, this must be some type of condo. Oh, but yeah, you can see this house right here. Right here. 4.8. I think this one was sold off a while ago. I don't know the last time I sold it, but it's okay. This is one of those beautiful houses that's in Tacoma. I've been to a couple parties here, but you can see it's just absolutely beautiful house. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. Everything's been redone on the inside. A lot of money. 13,000 square feet house. Look at that. Isn't that the office space you always dreamed of? Right? You have your own mini Oval Office. But definitely a beautiful, beautiful house. I don't think I've ever seen actually anybody on that side of the roof. But beds, showers, everything like that. But look at this. This is the downstairs. It has a ballroom in it. A ballroom. Look at that. It's absolutely beautiful. Billiards room. Just the maintenance would probably be insane for a house like this. But there's multiple fireplaces. Multiple fireplaces all over the place. I'm not interested in buying that. How about this Bitcoin? I just talked about it breaking above the 20, and there's a little pop we were hoping for. But yeah, so each market kind of is its own thing. San Francisco, though, those houses just look like shit. I just, what is the, like, I don't understand why people aren't renovating the houses. Normally, you buy, you renovate, you resell, or you buy, you renovate, and you just live there. I don't know if anybody's from San Francisco can explain it, but I'm curious. I'm used, like you kind of used to the markets, I don't know why they're not doing that. Although, you know what? Maybe it could just be the few homes we checked out because we were looking for cheaper homes. But, even the cheaper homes here are still nice. They're just small. Let's try one more time. San Francisco. I like San Jose too. Let's find a more expensive property. 3.5 million. This should be pretty nice on the inside. Yeah. Pretty nice on the inside. Small house though, but it's nice on the inside. Oh. What? You got neighbors? No, this is the basement door. So I see 1049, 1040. Okay. I was like, if you gotta have neighbors here, oh my gosh. So you might be able to rent out your basement. That'd be kind of cool. So nice on the inside. This is kind of what we see, but you gotta spend that much money for it. Cool light system though. I like this kitchen. Right, so they do have houses. I don't want to seem like all their houses are like those Oakland style houses that we saw over here. 595,000. Wait, what? Is that how you have to get in? Oh, okay. It's multiple levels. Okay. Oh, that is freaky. Oh, so you can get through there. Okay, that's it. Why did they have the first door there? Okay. See, I don't like that. That might clean up. Garage area looks beautiful. I mean, you can have a lot of stuff in there. Spacious. I don't know. These houses are all so weird. Every little city has their own concept of what a house is supposed to look like. San Francisco is really known for those townhouse styles. Seattle is not known. We don't want to live next to each other. We want to have a house, we want our yard, and we want you guys to not be able to like see us. We want to hide. Let's see, Oakland house. I watch it. What do you call it? That's exactly what it looked like. I have had friends in Oakland. What do you call it? Exactly how the houses look. Although I'd probably say I'd feel safer in Oakland than the house I saw in downtown San Fran. Um, let's see. Yeah, exactly. This house looks ugly. Yeah. Did you say live in Nicaragua? Yeah. So I'm thinking of moving to Nicaragua next year. I wanted to move this year, but I want to make sure my mom has done her kidney transplant surgery and gone through that whole process. That way, I'm here for all of that. So I'm pretty much just kind of waiting for that to happen. I'm going to Nicaragua, I think, later on this year, probably sometime in December and probably another time in November if I can. Um, and then once I move down there sometime next year, I'm going to rent a house and just live there with Loki. And then a couple of years down the road, once I know for a fact I really want to live there, I'm going to buy some property somewhere in Nicaragua, maybe not in the same town, but somewhere around there. Because I'm hoping by then there'll be more developments and more beach houses. Because I might actually just end up buying a lot and building a house from scratch. But to do that, you got to have all the cash ready up front, which I guess I could do that by then. But I just want to be, I want to be safe and careful about it. Oops, excuse me. So like here, uh, here's the one I've been looking at more recently. So invest Nicaragua real estate. Oh, I texted this guy and he messaged me back and I did not message him back. I got to figure out a way to say, oh, I'm so sorry, I got lost and stuff. Or maybe I did text it back. I don't know. Okay, but you can see there's a $549,000 house. Simple, right? Paul, I don't know where it's at. I don't know if it's something I would like, so I have to check through here. Simple interior, nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. You have a pool, open space. Oh yeah, you got a view of the water. I'd love this place. Yeah, I'd love this place. I'd want a better view of the water. I'd probably want a different type of roof, but interior looks fine. I could make some reservations. Probably not the top of my list, but somewhere I'd definitely be considering. Look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. And 3,500 square foot house. I didn't look at all the pictures, but yeah, I'd be totally happy with that. But go down here a little bit more. Get luxury houses over here for one. I don't want a luxury house. I don't want this one. This one looks really cool, but it's off the grid. Um, there's also apartments. I thought about actually getting a penthouse in an apartment complex, but I kind of want a yard for Loki. So I'm probably just going to do that. Let's go over here very fast. It has to be another house. Yeah, penthouse apartment. I was looking at this one, $250,000. I could just buy that cash and just get it over with. Surf house. I don't want the surf house. Here's one. This is a gated development place. So again, this is 1,800 square foot house. Nice little pool, open concept house, view of the water. Get myself a little office space in here. Probably it's a 2-bedroom. I use 1 bedroom for myself. One is a guest room / office, right? But chill, relaxing. Yeah, that could be an office. This could just be an office room. Probably a guest bedroom maybe or something like that. But I don't plan on having many guests here. Really, I know I'm going to have friends that come over, but I mean, frankly, they can sleep on the sofa, or I can get an air mattress for them, or just move in a bed when I have to. $400,000. That's all I need. There's other places as well, I guess. Like there's another website I use more than this. It's the first one that kind of popped up here. No, Aurora Beachfront, the second one actually. Let's get out of that one. Let's get out of Zillow. Let's get out of ChatGPT. Let's get out of that one. Fed. Get rid of that. Let's get CNBC. Get rid of all these tabs that I have. Okay. Go to houses because I don't want to buy a lot right now. You see houses over here. Let's just go from lowest to highest. That's usually how I go, so I can kind of sweep on past all the cheap stuff. And let's go to maybe page 3. 120. No. Page 6. No. Well, you can see what a $200,000 house looks like. It's not bad, but it's not what I want, right? 250. The more condos, right? Bungalows at El Canto. This is sold. Let's see. 250. This is getting around more of what I would like to see. I might just have to go to one of these that's been sold. I just want a 2-bedroom. That's what I'm looking for, basically. 2-bedroom or more. Okay, here is one. This sold for $265,000. I don't know where it's at though, so bear with me. This is a house right here. What size is it? Doesn't say how big the house is, but whatever, it's fine. I don't even know it's been built yet. Looks like more like a concept home, but you get a view of the water and stuff, right? Oh, so the building, yeah, the layout here. So right, so you're building a lot in the house, so it's not even been built yet. So you got to wait for it to be built. But $250,000, fine. I could be fine with that. Probably might even cost more for certain houses that have better waterfront views. Some houses are probably larger than others, so probably I wouldn't go off of that price. Actually, might be more than that. Trying to see just something. No, that's too close to people. 275. Trying to look over a home like I would actually truly want to live in. I just will not get to that price range yet. But there's other houses over here. I know. Let's go to 15. Let's just skip around a little bit. Okay, here's one. $400,000 new Pacific Martin home. I think it said something like that. Again, I don't know if this is new, but it looks fine to me. Look at a little gate there. Get to get the view of the cruise ships as they come along. A pool. Oh, that's actually a pretty nice pool, and you can see the ocean is right there. Not bad. But you can see the nice interior. They have a lot of marbly type floors over there. I don't know why, but they do have those types of floors out there quite a bit. Again, pretty nice and simple. I think there was somebody in the water over there. Yeah. Decent kitchen. One person, just me. You better believe I'd be perfectly happy with this. I might paint the walls a different color, but look at this. Look at that fish. You kidding me? I want to have some fun and do this. And again, nice open spots. It would just be me and my dog. That'd be fine. They even got a little weird looking Nemo thing in the corner over here. Oh, my head's blocking it. Little Nemo over there in the corner. So I've been looking at stuff like this. And the only thing is I just need Wi-Fi. And they actually have decent Wi-Fi out there because this is a big port town. So they've kind of, the country's kind of built it into the area. And I guess it's in a gated community, which makes it all the better, right? The chirping birds and howling monkeys that surround this house. Again, so there's woods and stuff. But you can see that there's houses over here, so it's not like I'm in the boonies. But when you go over here to, let me do this very fast, so you guys can look at the chart very fast as we try to break out above the 50 on the 15-minute chart. Maps. All right, we'll probably break out by the time we come back. So over here is Nicaragua. You got Managua, probably about like an hour drive, 2-hour drive south of the capital. You come to this little town over here. There's also another town I was thinking about moving into. It's like Tamarind, but it's over here in yeah, here it is, Tamarindo. This is in Costa Rica though. Costa Rica. This is the first one. This one looked pretty cool, but this town is kind of too big for me. I kind of want something smaller. I'm okay if the town is small and it goes big as I kind of grow older. Cool, that's fine. But I'm really looking at this one right here, San Juan del Sur. Okay, so the town is kind of right here. See, it has more towns over here, but the actual area is not too bad. They're building out right here, but you can see there's going to be more houses over here, yada, yada, yada. But the town kind of encompasses all this, and there's not really much. You see how there's like little small areas over here. As they build out, I kind of want to own a lot one day and then build the house there. I know there's no plumbing that goes through it, so I'd probably have to get a well, get some water transferred over to me, probably collect some rainwater, which would be perfectly fine. I don't mind using rainwater, right? But yeah, so I'd probably try to live somewhere over here in the hills, somewhere over here in the hills, somewhere over here if possible, even somewhere over here if I really have to, because I'm going to buy some type of $5,000-$10,000 car when I'm there. Just get it over with some SUV or something over here, or live over here. You can see there's just tons of places to buy houses or just buy lots and build a house on top of it. But it's a small little area. Everything is very cheap. Everything's really chill. You can tell the boats in the harbor. My kind of dream is to live on the hill where I get a view of it. But honestly, I don't mind if I live over here and I don't get the view of the harbor. I get the view of just this other harbor over here. Totally fine with it. Main issue is I need Wi-Fi. I want a yard for Loki, and that's about it. And a decent house. I don't want to live in some rundown, San Francisco house, right? But like you go over here, and this is a lot of hotels and stuff because it's a big touristy place, right? But restaurant closes. Does it have a menu? Okay, so you can see right here, food. Don't know if I like that food, but let me see. I just really wanted to get all I really wanted to do is get a menu. They even got it. Okay. I don't see a menu. Maybe there's a menu here and I'm just not reading English. I'm reading Spanish, excuse me. No, okay. But yeah. So stuff like that. The food is very, very cheap. Here's a restaurant. Does it have a menu? Menu, Facebook. Oh, I'm not logged into my Facebook. Do you paint and eat or something? I don't even know. I don't know my password to log into what he calls, so sorry. Pool and patio. Here, restaurant El Timon. Latest menu. Okay, here you go. You got their foreign currencies here, so I don't know what this is. 320. $10 to Nicaragua. Oh, Nicaragua Cordoba. Okay. So $10, 365. That's kind of about what we just saw here. So about $10 for a meal. That's not bad at all. Probably a little bit less than $10 actually. But what do you call whatever this is? Shrimp, seafood. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Don't know what any of this stuff is though. Try and look at some of these other menu items. Looks around $10, $11 for food. Some of this other stuff. Oh, the kids' food is like maybe around $7, $6. This is for the downtown expensive restaurant. You know, $10. It's great. I'm about to go to Vegas and I'm about to go to what are these places called? I don't even remember what the places I told you guys I'm going to before. I gotta respond to that message too. Plane reservations. I was telling my friend about. Okay. See y'all. Del Monaco. That's where I'm gonna go. There you go. So I'm about to go here, go grab myself a freaking steak, and you know that steak alone, without the drink, without the side, without anything else, right? Now, granted, this is a nicer restaurant, but you're not going to find these restaurants down in Nicaragua, or you're not going to find them in this small town. Probably in the capital, you can find some really high-end restaurants because no matter what country you're in, every country has politicians, and every politician wants to eat the best food imaginable. But you know, I'm probably gonna get the prime bone and ribeye. I'm probably gonna get the or the braised buffalo short ribs or the scallops. Probably not gonna get the scallops because I'm getting seafood the following night. I think the Wednesday night I'm there. But you know, prime bone and ribeye, $78. I mean, I'm used to paying that much out here in Seattle, but what you know, I don't like to spend this much money on average, but this isn't an average meal. But you know, when you compare it, it's fine. I'm gonna have a lot of fun out there. Oh, there we go. I told you we were gonna eventually break out above it, probably, but I thought it might be a little bit sooner. There we go. 5 minute. There you go. I saw a pop above the 200 here on the 15-minute chart. There we go. See, yeah, I'm definitely San Juan del Sur. I might be looking at other towns as well. So when I go down there in this either November or December, I plan on going through a few different towns. But I think the number one for me right now is going to be San Juan del Sur. Originally, I actually wanted to move to El Salvador because I know El Salvador a lot more. I've been to El Salvador like over 10 times. Um, but El Salvador just seems to have too much crime for me. And the expats that I do know that are out there, that some of them like they're kind of slowly moving out of the country. So I don't really want to go in when everybody else is moving out. But even El Salvador has some really nice places as far as real estate. Again, but it mostly comes down to, and I'm looking at all these places. Let me just go to map of Mexico. Just go maps. I just wanted to start off on the south. There we go. There we go. Okay. You see El Salvador right here. It wouldn't be in San Salvador. It'd be somewhere along the coast, right? Somewhere along the coast. Find me a nice little place. They got areas, but the towns aren't. I don't get the same vibes from the towns over here. And also, it's more dangerous. But you see, there's like this time, there's no massive hills on the side where you can have like a cove type of effect. You start going a little bit more south and you hit Managua. That's where you start getting these mountainous areas. You start getting the coves, right? San Juan del Sur. And then you go down south to Costa Rica. You get more of those mountainous regions, the coves and whatnot. And you see all these nice little areas. Like I thought about over here as well. This is beautiful. But over here, they're much more expensive in Costa Rica for some reason instead of Nicaragua. I don't know what makes Costa Rica so much more expensive. But Costa Rica also is a pretty beautiful place. I love the areas out here. Like, yeah, maybe just do a little drive by through the roads. See? They got your modern little garage. Why is the camera tilted? That's what I don't want to know. Right? But, some Latin American countries are definitely more modernized than others. AM, PM. I love checking out other cultures, right? And you can still see there's still bad areas like this, right? Pollo. I mean, I go to a place called the Jalapeno on Saturdays to go get chicharrones. So I'd probably be going to stores just like this if they have good tacos and stuff. Taco Titillion? I don't even know. But what do you call? That. That's a Subaru. They got some Subarus over there. People walking around. I'm just going to have to prepare myself for the heat. That's what I got to do. I don't like how every picture is slightly tilted. I feel like the Google guy did a bad job here. But, public transportation, all that type of good stuff. Costa Rica is probably one of my other choices. Of the people I know that live in South America and Central America, Panama seems to be the place to be. Honestly, I just, it's too much. It's too, I want a small, quiet area. And you can see Panama's pretty much here to here. Panama, to me, doesn't really have that small, quiet area where it has that cove town. I'm looking for a lifestyle feeling vibe type of thing. I can't really find it in many places. And that's why San Juan del Sur really is that place. I was looking over here as well. This isn't even in Panama, though. Is you get Colombia, kind of dangerous. Venezuela. I think if you go to Venezuela right now on the national travel thing, it'll give you like 20 warnings to not go to Venezuela. Like travel report. Oh, I didn't spell that right. Venezuela. There you go. Probably a big banner on the top. Oh, you guys might not see it because the way the channel works. Oh, there you guys see it right there. Do not travel and leave immediately. Oh, that's Russia. China health alert -10. Oh, here it is. Venezuela level 4. Do not travel. Do not travel to Venezuela due to crime, civil unrest, kidnapping, and the arbitrary enforcement of local laws. Reconsider travel due to wrongful detentions, terrorism, and poor health infrastructure. Country summary. This is back in 2019. Hasn't even been updated. So, it's been a minute, but they just say don't go. But, I mean, again, it's not like Nicaragua is like not getting a travel warning as well. It's not like I trust these I don't trust these 100%. But they do give me hey, reconsider. I don't know. Maybe Nicaragua is level 3 or something. So, there we go. What is this one? Level 3, reconsider travel, right? But I just know so many people that go out there and have no problems. A whole bunch of families that go out there and they have no problems whatsoever. So sometimes I feel like these are overblown, but I haven't seen any problems from people that I personally know down there. But again, we can always go to Panama. Panama might be a level 2. No, Panama might not even have a level at all. Because I know right now Peru has one because of all the riots. Panama, level 2. It does have level 2. Exercise increased caution. It's just because those parts that aren't in the safe city zones where expats kind of hang out. That's, I think, why they have these type of alerts. One last one here is Peru. Because they're having a lot of riots and stuff like that right now. Probably level 4. Wow, only level 3. After all the protests and people getting shot in the streets, it's only level 3. We must really hate Venezuela. Oh, man. I was looking at places in Nigeria, no matter how nice the places are, they have bars on the windows and doors. Exactly. It's that's one of the reasons I didn't want to move to El Salvador because some houses, which I think is a really cool concept, but it kind of freaks me out that I have to have in the first place, tall walls and there's barbed wires on top of the walls and electric fences on top of the barbed wire wall areas. So if somebody tries to climb, they have to deal with electricity and barbed wire. I don't want to be in a compound, which is why I like San Juan del Sur so much because it's a cruise town. Cruises come through it. They have to be safe. They have to be safe enough for a cruise, basically. And if cruises aren't stopping, the whole economy of the town goes to kaput really fast. So they have to spend resources to keep it going well. Sorry, guys, I keep on forgetting where my head is over here. I know people from Venezuela, and they say don't go there. Crime is way out of control. Exactly. That's why. Nope. I'm not even gonna try. I don't even think I can get a flight to Venezuela if I wanted to, unless I have to go through it like to Cuba to Venezuela or to Mexico to Venezuela. That's how I would have to get a flight down there. That's what they say about Oakland. Panama is a good place to get stem cells. I rarely go to Panama. I rarely go to Panama just because it's so far away. Nicaragua is still like not the longest flight. So here what's that website called? Expedia. Flight leaving from Seattle, going to Managua. There we go. Let's just say I'm going in November for now. Let's stay away from the holiday season though. 6th to 13th, something like that. I hit search. Oh, I messed up something though. Hold on. Well, if I wanted an average economy seat round trip, $578. Honestly, that's not bad at all. Round trip, $578. It's an 11-hour trip. I can be okay with that. It looks like on average it'd probably be around 9 hours. 9 hours if you go through and you're not going through the whole long process. Probably times may vary. You may even find something shorter than that. 13 hours, 15 hours. No. Looks like 9 hours, probably going to be your fastest time. I'm perfectly fine with that. It's like I'm going all the way to freaking Europe or something from Seattle. But let's just right here. It's $578. That's great price. For me, unfortunately, I tend to fly first class because I'm larger, I'm fat, and I just like having tons of extra room while I travel, and I like unlimited drinks, unlimited food while I travel. It's just like something I really like a lot. Let me search again. So that 500, or let's just say $700. 700 was the average. That $752 goes into 1,237. Still, first class down there, $1,200 round trip. It's not even that expensive to go down there. And we're thinking about it like this. So $1,200 to get down there through American Airlines. $1,200, okay? $1,200. I'm not even going to change the time. I'm just going to say we're going to Las Vegas instead because that's where I normally would fly to because I like my Vegas trips. But again, $1,200 first class down there. I would expect a Las Vegas trip to cost anywhere from like $700, $800. Yeah, like for $400, I can go instead of Las Vegas to Managua, Nicaragua. Flight tickets sometimes just don't make sense, but you can just see. Look at that. It's just this is what blows my mind all the time. Imagine this now. You're going from Managua to Las Vegas, right? I'm not entirely sure how this would go because I would still be going to Vegas. I would assume every now and again. It's just I have to have my house sitter watch Loki. Then it's $1,000. It's actually $100 more, pretty much just to go to Seattle if I wanted to go from Las Vegas, Seattle. Right? I don't know why the prices are kind of the way they are. But maybe let me just go over here. Maybe like LAX. How much would it cost to go from there to LA? I could always take a train up north if I really wanted to or something like that. Sometimes like just go to Los Angeles, maybe say hi to a friend, maybe do some business work or something. So $1,700, even more expensive. So it's it's cheaper to go to Seattle than it is to LA. Right? Weird times. Maybe if the economy gets worse, airline tickets will also get cheaper. Here's to hoping. Oh man. And a broken glass on the wall. Exactly. Hey, Irvin. What is a travel condition for Chicago? Oakland is at level 4. What do you call? They don't even have them. I don't even know if other countries have travel restrictions for us. I would assume they do, but I would assume it's like political posturing and stuff like that. But again, the tickets just aren't too expensive to go down there. My big thing is when I go down there, it's like, how do I get hotels from here? Like, I had to spend a little bit, like 2 days at a hotel here, 2 days at a hotel here, probably three, because I probably will spend 7 to 12 days down there. But maybe 3, 2, 2, whatever. you know, because I want to spend a couple days in the capital, a couple days at this beach, a couple days at this beach, a couple days at this beach, and maybe a couple days on this island that's in the kind of the middle of a giant lake they have in Nicaragua. Um, but like, you know, how much do those hotels cost? And it kind of varies. And I don't really need a fancy hotel when I go, but I do want to have the hotel with the bare essentials, like a nice clean room, possibly breakfast included, just to kind of have some fun there. So again, you go over here, you go to Expedia, you see stays. Again, it's weird because you have to type in Nicaragua. You can't type in just Managua. But for now, let's just do Managua. And let's go over here sometime. And again, same kind of time frame. Let's just see how much it would cost just in totality for. I would probably be a little bit longer of a trip, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's like that. Probably even longer than that, honestly. Oh, I should have done one traveler because it's always just going to be me. One traveler. There you go. No resort fees down here, I hope. Okay. So the Best Western, $68 a night. Not bad. Doubletree by Hilton, $85 a night. These prices are perfectly fine. Hyatt Place Managua, $135 per Holiday Inn Express Managua. Like it's not like they just like have like no hotels down there. But again, I'd be going for I usually go from the maps. To the town. Is there a hotel by the water I can go to? No. $11. Oh, probably a house or a room. $38. Art hotel. That's kind of cool. Sometimes I like to go to these places, but it always depends on like what the actual room and amenities look like. So like I would have to look at the room here. Say the room is that. That's a no. Oh, you guys can't see the room. Yeah, 250. No, I wouldn't like that at all. I just wouldn't like it. Personally, no. But you know, maybe if I was out with friends and we were just kind of backpacking through the place, sure. But on like a trip where I'm kind of there to explore and I really want to have a nice bed to come back to, maybe $150. Intercontinental Managua, this might be fine. Even over here, $57, $12. Backpackers in, right? Stuff like this, yeah, I could totally be fine with some of the stuff like this. $60, $70 seems like what it is. Onyx, oh, you can rent an apartment? Oh man, that is cool. Yeah, like furnished apartments. Oh my god, entire apartment, $1,500. I don't know why people do that, but yeah. So you know, there's tons of places out here. Now I could zoom out a little bit more, and you know, I come over here to where's San Juan? There it is. Search here. Get to the prices over here for this. I'll be spending some time over here as well if I can just find it. There you go. $79. Something kind of more in the middle, kind of what I saw in the downtown area. There you go. By the beach, nice little interior pool, small pool it looks like, but right next to the beach. Look at that. Place for kids, all types of fun stuff. I just want to see a room. There you go. Basically a room. Not my favorite, but if it's on the beach, I might actually make an exception. Oh, there you go. I'd probably want that one king bed size bed right there. Old style toilets, I'll survive. Hammocks and stuff, chill. I would probably choose another one, but still, it doesn't seem that bad to me. Go over here. Let's see, $100 a night. Private house. Oh. Private house, ocean view, pool, 3 blocks from beach and town. You'll have the entire home to yourself and will only share it with other guests in your party. Oh, $100 per night. Can I just? Oh, there we go. Let's see the cruise ships in the background. Pool, open area. If I get the whole house, I would probably be fine with this. Although I'm not entirely sure I'd feel comfortable being alone at the house. But I think I'd be fine with it. Let's go over here one other time. $410 a night. Oh, I feel like there's people giving their doing their houses. I think that's what it is. Because I didn't say I just wanted to do hotels. I said hotels, houses, like Airbnbs and stuff like that. 112. Townhome. Yeah, this is a townhome. Studio apartment. Hotel Montezuma. This is $158 for like a week and a half. So like I could really just chill down here if I wanted to. $478. This must be a really nice house over here. Breakfast included. $5,000. Oh my gosh. $1,000. Northern beaches, luxury home. Oh, so you get a lot of houses over here. But yeah, so basically I do that. I think there's a place over here I wanted to try out too. So there's like a little hotel over here. All right. There's one that's $85. little house, just chill out on a little island. This is the little island I was referring to before. These ones must be sold out or something. I don't know. Oh yeah, sold out. But yeah, just just having some fun. I'm gonna kind of skip this whole other side of the country just because the drive itself would kind of take a long time. But I also wanted to go over here a little bit. There's some hotels. It's kind of like a reserve. These are sold out too. My gosh, I'm looking at stuff for November. Why is November sold out? I heard Leon is pretty nice as well. This is something if I ever wanted to live in a city and I didn't want to live in the main city, it'd be something like this. $80, something like this. But I just want to live by the water, the water, the water, right? 108 bucks, whatever this is. Entire house right on the beach, stuff like that. But again, $1,000 for like 12 days, 13 days. I mean, it's just so cheap, right? And it's cheaper to fly down there, or it's only a few $100 more to go down there than it is to just to go to Vegas or LA. That's the crazy thing. That's the crazy thing right now. I will not stand for all that slander. No worries, Ken. I grew up in Tacoma. We get a lot of slander as well. Funny enough, when I used to live in Montana, people in Montana used to make fun of me from being from Tacoma. They called it Tacompton, and I was like, Compton used to be way worse than Tacoma. Tacoma was bad, but not Compton bad. Check the price hotel prices. Yeah, nice and cheap. Japan has super nice houses for cheap. Oh, I bet. I don't want to live in Japan though. Japan to me, I would live in Japan if it was on the countryside and very quiet and nobody bothered me. But honestly, like I like the idea of living in the tropics and being in a nice little area where it's nice and cool and just chill and relax. I'm not gonna worry about stuff. Um, it's everything about it just screams peacefulness to me. Because I've been around tons of places like this in the past, and I've always kind of dreamed about living here. But what's always kind of made me stick around in Seattle or the Tacoma area is we have the Puget Sound here. So I've always been looking for houses along here, here. Maybe I can buy something over here. But it's cold and it's rainy, and even though we have a nice summer, it's just not the same as being in the tropics, right? I haven't been to Ozette Lake in years. Oh my gosh, this is a great lake. There's like a triangle path that takes you out to the ocean. You go up here and you walk back. I have a picture of myself from a long time ago when I climbed up some hill. This hill. This hill. You can walk to it. Um, this is a really chill area. I went over here. I canoed across it. Came over here and I walked all the way up here and I pretty much died of exhaustion. I kid you not. I lost like 20 pounds in like 10 days. Or like a week. It was. Oh, I also forgot all my food, so I was just snacking on granola, homemade granola that my mother made, which was awesome. Um, but yeah, so I've kind of been just staying in this because there's so much water. Right? I love the water, but California is kind of the desert is encroaching upon California. I think over the next 20 years, you're going to see all this kind of be all in here and make it look a lot worse. Because look at that. I mean, just look at that. Like maybe they have us time lapse of desert going into California. Uh, uh, satellite view. Uh, I don't know if they have something. I don't know if they have it. Yeah, see how green it used to be way over here, and how it's kind of gotten a little dry. It's just going to get worse. So I thought I wanted to live in California, but California, honestly, their taxes kind of scare me, and I don't want to pay a lot of taxes, especially because I don't think I would get the money back for the taxes. Um, and I'm pretty frugal when it comes to taxes. So I'm just like, you know what? Why not just leave the country, chill out? I can do a whole bunch of stuff down there. I can bring my mom down there whenever she wants to go. She can come down for usually like a 3-day trip, and I'd probably have my sister along with her. I told my mom, because you guys know I don't talk to my grandparents anymore. I told my mom that when I move down there, I'll probably be more cordial to my grandparents and I'll actually start talking to them again. And I will invite all of them down to Nicaragua for a family weekend out or something like that, okay? My mom, this is one of the reasons I want my mom's kidney. I'm not going to leave it until my mom's done with her kidney transplant stuff because I want her to be able to come down without having to worry about going to dialysis every other day, right? Or every 3 days. Because it'd make it very hard for her just to enjoy herself down there. So, the family can come down for as long as they want to, basically, probably 3 to 4 days, because nobody works, right? And so that'd be cool. My sister would probably be in college, so she could come down, but probably over like she could bring her and her girlfriends down for spring break or something. Who knows? They could pretty much have the house to themselves while I just stay in my room and play video games and do crypto streaming, right? And they could play with Loki all he wants. Loki's down here too. I'll give you guys I'm about to end the stream here, guys. It was a good long night, good hour stream. But Loki's not here. Hold on, he's by my legs. Let me toss a treat over there. There you go. You guys saw the treat. Oh, my camera is kind of at a dangling thing, so you guys can see him like this. Yeah, there he is. You can see the tag wailing, tag moving. That's a good sign. Oh, now, how do I do this? Now he's on my shoulder. Boom, 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 boom. Would you like another treat? He just wanted a treat. Yeah, but yeah, everybody, guys. As far as crypto is concerned, we're still in a good spot. We just saw the Nasdaq breakout. We just saw the SPY broke out. There's going to be a lot of big news, unfortunately, next Wednesday and Thursday. That's where, if shit does hit the fan, that's where it should go. But until then, I would expect Bitcoin to kind of be in this trading range. I would say maybe at the minimum over the next few days, it gets down to $20,000, $20,500, probably the lowest I can see it going. And on the high end, I'd probably say somewhere around $25,000, maybe as far as $26,000. That trading range is where I think we're going to stay until we start to hear some more news as far as, is Apple going to crush us? Is Google going to crush us? Is Facebook, or is Amazon going to crush us? Or are we going to have some good news from all of them? And how are rate hikes going to affect the overall economy, okay? But what do you call it? Take it easy. There's not much to talk about right now, which is very, very nice, which is why we talk about a whole bunch of other stuff. Tomorrow, the stream is also going to start around 8 o'clock. And then from there, we are going to talk about the market and stuff like that, kind of finishing off the week. But we can have another discussion like this. I don't mind talking about stuff other than crypto. Probably when that happens, I'll change the title of the stream so people that are clicking on just don't say like, hey, I thought this was a Bitcoin stream. They're talking about tropics and vacations and Vegas and stuff. Fine dining. But yeah, so guys, it was fun to chat with you guys tonight. I really do appreciate when you guys comment. I think I'm going to move the permanent time of the stream to not be around 5 or 6. I think it's going to be around 8 or 7 to 8 or 9, and kind of on a rotating kind of basis, because people seem to comment a lot more. They seem to be more engaging, and I like that a lot, honestly. So what do you call it? Keep an eye on everything. Kind of watch, again, that 20 and 50 moving averages on the 4-hour chart. We're already down below the 20. Oh, we just got back above the 20. Really just watch the 50 here then for now. But if we break down below the 50, that's where I start to panic a little bit, and I think Bitcoin comes back down to test out these resistance levels, support levels, back down here towards 22,000. If we break down below that, then we come back down here to that lower trading range that we were talking about. We just want to stay above that. Everything else has already fallen down below that 50, but I'm hoping this time that Bitcoin pops up. You'll see that we didn't break down here. We managed to pop up a little bit higher, but unfortunately, Ethereum did break down, even though it managed to hold up again earlier, okay? Keep an eye on everything. We'll also watch to see what happens if Ethereum breaks down below $1,500. It's going to be an interesting level, okay? And hey, Skull Guy, happy to see. Have a good night, everybody. Melvin as well, Gator, just lurking. Don't worry, guys. Feel free to lurk as well. Just send a comment out every now and again. The algorithm loves comments, and I'm realizing that's why, part of the reason why my channel isn't getting pushed out more when I stream. It's because all of you guys enjoy listening to me so much that you guys don't comment as much, which I really do enjoy. But I guess YouTube, like the YouTube algorithm, doesn't really prioritize like teaching as a valuable thing to do while streaming. They think I just have to be purely entertaining you, and that's the only way they're going to show you to other people, which is really annoying because, of course, if I'm trying to talk to you guys and teach you guys something, it doesn't make much sense for you guys to be commenting. It makes more sense for you guys to learn and educate yourself. But until I can figure out how to tell YouTube, please don't do that. It sucks. Probably not gonna. I'm probably gonna keep on saying thank you for all the comments you guys do because it really does help out the channel up. So I'll see you guys a little bit later. Continue to talk if you guys want to on the Dogecoin stream, and make sure it's 10:30 right now. But make sure you guys get some dinner if it's not too late, or make sure you guys get